Hello, everybody. It's Saturday night. Welcome to the pub. I hope you all are doing well. Last Dance RW, good to see you guys. Tonight, we are going to cover a myriad of subjects, and there's a lot of things going on. So, yeah, it'll be all good. I got my freshly cleaned grav pipe. And, we got 6. That's pretty good. So, welcome. I hope you're well. I hope you've all had a good week. I myself had a busy week, so whatever. It's life, right? Cheers. Just finishing off a glass of red wine I had with dinner. Hopefully my audio is okay. Guys, let me know if it's all right. Coming into thank you, buddy. English Bottle Cap, good to see you, man. Awesome. Yeah, 12:30 for you, so a little different. And I think the switchover is around the end of October, right? Maybe the 31st. Is it Halloween that you guys switch over to back to Greenwich Mean Time? As of now, you're in British summertime. So, Duke, how you doing, buddy? I know you popped in last week. That was great. Good to see you again, man. Hi, Zal. Yeah, hey, all. Let's see. Yeah, the Z is right below the A, so that's an okay mistake. No worries. And I hope you're doing well, my friend. Really good to see you. Even if you just hang in the chat, but you are always more than welcome to join us on cam. Funny guy, that Duke. Chris Wright, good to see you, buddy. You were in the United States. Cool, man. Right on. I hope you enjoyed your stay. I hope you were not in Florida or certain areas of North Carolina, but the rest of the country seems to be okay. We can go over a little bit of things tonight. Fucking finger. Wicked dry spot. Sorry, I shouldn't have swore. Damn. Yeah, just Steve-O. You know Duke. He's an old live leaker. I don't know if you are Steve-O or not, but there are some of us here that are. So, yeah. And cheers to old live leak. Okay, October 27th. Well, what up, Cup? Good to see you, bro. The 27th is a Sunday. So the 26th will be our last show in British summertime. Oh, cool, from the Ogrish days. Yeah, I remember Ogrish. Which I don't even know if that's a proper word, but I know it means ogre-ish, like an ogre. Like an ogre, I guess you would define ogre-ish as. That was pre-Live Leak, and that was back in the days of like Best Gore, which actually still exists. Yeah, ogre-ish was just that, extremely brutal. It is a proper word. Cool. And yeah, that was my probably first introduction to these sorts of websites. And then it went away. And then I remembered, this must have been in the early 2000s, searched for Ogreish, and then a live leak came up. And I was like, huh. It sort of was a redirect to that. And yeah, that's where it all started. Ogreish was similar to the early days of Live Leak. Geez, it's been like 20 years now, so it's hard to recall everything specifically. I remember some of the videos, Those are the things that stick with you more than anything. The website, I don't remember the early design of Ogrish. I do remember the early Live Leak days. I think they always had that same red and white logo, I guess you call it. Yeah, there you go. Resembling or pertaining to an ogre. Yeah. And I've always assumed that that was Hayden's early project that developed into Live Leak. I don't know why. Ogrish may have been something that could not attract advertisers, and maybe Live Leak, he had an easier time with it. I'm not sure about that, but New York is good, not cheap. Yeah, I've had some fun in New York. I would not go back. I had my time there in my younger days, but I'm not a city guy anymore. I prefer to go to a little more wild places, whether it's ocean focused or, mountains, whatever, lakes, just not cities, not New York City for that matter. As I said, I did it and it was fine. But I'm glad you had a good time, Chris. And I'm sure people still do when they visit there. A lot of great restaurants, culture, a lot of great art, some rats, some bad restaurants. I guess you just got to know where to go. This wine, I'm not ashamed to say, came out of a bladder that comes in a box. I told Hayden this years ago when I started doing the pub, took it over for him, and he would not believe me that you can get a good wine out of a box. This is not Franzia. This is good Cabernet. And the packaging is different. It's not a glass bottle. There's no cork, obviously. But you get 3 bottles in a box, in a bladder, in a box. I know bladder doesn't sound good. For $20. And it's decent red wine. I can have a few glasses of it and be not completely hungover. Obviously, any red wine, if you drink too much of, I think it comes back to bite you in the butt the next day. Like I said, I'm working the Grav. I don't think you can see the logo there. GRAV. Wow. It's a plastic bladder. I am really surprised you don't like red wine, Last Dance. You've got such an eclectic taste for straight booze, like scotch, rum, scotch and rum. I think that's what I've seen you drink thus far, which are, doctorate level of drinking. And red wine is like, freshman biology. It's low level in the scale of, light beer would be freshman, red wine's probably junior year, straight brown liquor is probably, doctorate level. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't never got a taste for it. Hey, Scum TV, what's going on, buddy? Just don't like it. I love it. We had pasta earlier, and with red sauce, nothing goes better with tomato sauce than or marinara gravy than red, or a steak with red wine. Fabulous. Although scotch and steak go well together, and whiskey and steak, and beer and steak, anything goes good with steak. That's probably not your area of expertise, Last Dance, but take my word for it. Man, that is hitting smooth. for freshly cleaned. Discovered a new product for cleaning pipes, bongs, and bowls that I highly recommend people look into. It's an enzymatic detergent, and it just dissolves everything. Really good stuff. I don't want to give the brand name, but there's a lot of them out there. Naphtha is not what I would use. Naphtha is extremely strong solvent. I don't know. Do they make the same stuff for poison ivy, like an enzymatic soap? I'd never heard that. I've never gotten poison ivy, so I've never needed to treat it. I think I might be immune, which is weird, but never got it, and I see it everywhere. Okay. I didn't know that. Naphtha's nasty, dude. It's a weird name, too. Really, just, it looks like half of a word. Like it should be naphthalene or something like that. It just ends abruptly. It almost looks like, I don't know, like an abbreviation, or I'm not sure. But thinking about getting this thing rolling here right out of the gate, fellas. If you all are ready, I'll start trickling people in. And I'm not getting any signs from you, so we're going to do it. Last Dance, you have your drink ready? Or maybe later.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Happy Saturday, Smokesteve, man. Happy Saturday to everyone in the chat.
Definitely, and an honorable mention to, sorry, I don't know what the hell just happened, to Duke Browsey for coming back second week here. Very nice.
Nice to see Duke always.
Always. He's a great guy and got a lot of skills when it comes to putting together videos. Hopefully we'll get him on here to join us sometime. I have a feeling this is the end of his night. He probably just pops in for, although last time
it's late.
I swear last time I think he might have woken up early and jumped on, because it was like probably 5 or 6 in the morning there by the time he joined us.
Yeah, I don't know. He's certainly east of the UK, so it's in the wee hours.
I think it's either plus 1 or plus 2 to the UK. I'm not sure. I want to say 1. So did you do that? You did it already. Nice, very quick. Getting close to the election. I got my ballot. Got my mail in, which I'm going to drop off at. Go ahead.
Got my sample ballot, but no, I'm not mailing it in.
What's a sample ballot? Oh, you're going
to go. Basically, a facsimile of what the ballot's going to look like.
Do you have the option to get a ballot and then drop it off at the town hall?
Yep.
But you don't want to do that.
We have, I think, just like you, we have 3 ways to vote: in person, by mail, or drop it off in a box.
You're such a stubborn curmudgeon. You literally want to go and stand there and wait in line and go in and fill it out, and that's your method.
I mean, I suppose it's just stubbornness. I mean, I could say I don't trust all the other methods, but why would I trust? I mean, why would I trust doing it in person? Right? It's handled by probably the same people. So I don't know. I just feel like the day is the day, and that's the day.
Sure.
Doing it in advance just seems wrong.
I'm in the camp of take the most dysfunctional, in my eyes, aspect out of it. The United States Postal Service. So they mail it to me. I bring it upon myself to bring it to the town hall, put it in the box. So I only can assume that it's ending up in the same place where the walk-in voters like yourself do it. So we just do that for a matter of convenience. But in a place like Pennsylvania, they never passed the legislation to allow counting of mail-in ballots ahead of time. So what that means is we're not going to know the results of the election on election day, at least from Pennsylvania, because they have to start counting them that day, which is a pain in the ass. But that being said,
I'm glad they do that. You know, at some point they're probably going to start counting them as soon as they get them, and then.
Well, that being said, now that I think about it, what's the difference of counting them if they're all voted that day and have voted days before and are counted that day? Like prior to mail-in ballots, did they have this problem? You know what I mean? Is it the opening of the envelope that takes an extra 5 seconds per envelope? That
I don't know. I mean, I think you want to count all the ballots at one time, everything. You know, for one thing, if you count them early, the results will leak out, and that will influence who even goes to vote afterward.
Sure.
It's just it's asking for trouble.
Yeah, but you follow me too, right? Prior to mail-in voting, they were able to count all the ballots in one day. Now it's this huge issue because they can't count some of them ahead of time. I don't really get it.
I don't get it either. I mean, before mail, we used to have mechanical voting machines, but not everybody had that. I think some people just had very simplistic, put a ballot in a box, you know, fill it out, do it all by hand. Right. It's counted by hand. Well, I don't know. I don't understand why it's a problem.
Right. And it's going to be a problem if what they're saying right now is where the way that rural Pennsylvania votes is probably going to be the president. That seems to be a common theme right now. Rural votes in Pennsylvania, if they all go Trump and Trump wins Pennsylvania, Trump's going to win the presidency, and the same will go for Harris. I don't know. Do you agree with that?
That's true. No, I don't. I think they will all go to Trump, and they, you know, and that's not going to be the deciding factor. No.
I think it's sort of one of those barometers that they've used for years.
Yeah, I know. Past. It's a barometer, but
that's worked out every time. So they're going with sort of it's happened before.
To me, that's just like Puxatawny film, you know. It's complete. There's no reason to think that is a good barometer.
Interesting. All right, let's get this guy on here.
Hi,
what is
everybody.
Up?
Hey, RW.
Howdy.
You got the prison jumpsuit on? Would they let you out for furlough for the day?
Orange is the new black, my man.
All right.
Cool. No, my wife got me this sweater. She's like, you should wear it. And I said, sounds like a plan.
Yeah, it's warm.
Has anyone heard from McGrandy since Milton smacked Florida?
Yes.
I'm guessing we got the thumbs up on the Discord somewhere. Do you guys?
All good. He didn't get anything.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He's well to the south of where it hit. Looks like we got off easy. I mean, compared to what it was looking like earlier, where it was going to make this track that went through Tampa and then through the Orlando area, which would have been a disastrous loss of life, I expect.
And they hyped it up because it was the fastest storm ever recorded in written history, apparently, for that area. So it was a little fear-mongered.
I mean, there were apparently the biggest damage was from tornadoes. Yeah,
I mean, don't discount the fact that there was some serious damage to Siesta Key and Fern. I think a place there called Ferndale or something like that. But yeah, there was localized really terrible damage, and Milton also the same thing. Milton had horrendous amount of damage. Wait.
Yeah, no.
Helene. Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's an update on that also. I have to watch the video in full, but a nurse that was there for 7 days in Black Mountain, North Carolina, she's finally going home, and she was recording herself in the car, and she's basically saying that dysentery is going to be pretty rampant in the next coming up days. So
Yeah,
we'll be hearing a little bit more coming out of that area. A lot of, I won't get into it right now, but a lot of stuff is still happening in that area.
I don't think Milton was more lethal than Helene. I think it was less lethal, and Milton probably went over impacted more people in Florida.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how many evacuated, but Florida isn't going to have the same level of flooding that
and they can get to people very easily.
Yeah,
right. Florida's flat,
exactly.
so clearing it out and everything isn't as big of an issue.
Right. There's a ton of drainage in Florida too, and the flatness means the water has time. The mountains mean the water, it ain't gonna give you any time. It's coming.
Right. Did you see the mudslides? Have you guys seen any of the mudslide videos?
Yes.
It's a interesting beast to watch. It's very different.
Water is self-leveling. Nothing's going to stop it, and it will change the earth into a slurry so that it can get to a level place. It doesn't work on a slant, you know. It's really, it's trippy, like you said, RW. It's the ground becomes liquefied, basically, just liquefies and turns. It's crazy. A whole mountainside looks like a mountainside, and then all of a sudden it's going 35, 40, 50 miles an hour in, you know, its liquid form. It's oversaturated or something. I'm not sure, but and the amount of rain, I heard numbers going around in the multiple trillions of gallons that fell in rainfall over North Carolina. Some in the teens to 20 inches in a short period of time. I don't even know what that's like. I've heard maybe we got like 3-4 inches here in like a 2-day storm. I've never heard of anything like that in my life, man.
Right.
Maybe a fucking rainforest, you know, but it's
which
insanity.
Can handle it. Yeah. Have you guys had trees down on your property in your lifetime? I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was your worst scenario that you guys have had in your lifetime?
I had a blue spruce that luckily slowly fell across the top of the house here and didn't cause any damage, but it was leaning against it. So I set up a ladder and a second ladder with a roof hook I put over the top of the roof, went up with the chainsaw and pieced it down and tossed it over the edge. It was shady. I had one guy on the ground telling me I shouldn't be using a chainsaw like that on the roof, and I probably shouldn't have, but
at height,
on like a 12-12 pitch roof. But I ended up not losing a limb or any appendages.
But you said you were tied in because you hooked across the roof, so you were tied in.
No, the ladder itself had a hook on top, so I had one solid foot in a ladder, but I never tied to that ladder. No.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy.
It's a little. Well, whatever. It's over. The tree's gone.
Excellent. Well done.
Yeah.
Dance. I'm just curious. What's your worst experience?
There was a dead tree that's maybe 10, 15 feet from the house, and I let it go too long. And huge fell, but did not hit the house, thankfully. And after that, I said, okay, it's time to get the dead trees cut down. So that was cut down.
Yeah. It's a painful expense, but it's worthy when you're done and it's all opened up and you have more sunlight and air.
Yeah, it definitely was worth it. It's one of those things I always thought, I could do it tomorrow. I don't have to have it done today. Keep putting it off. And then thankfully, a big limb fell instead of the whole tree falling over. And, that kind of spurred me to action. So I cut down 2 trees with that visit.
A wife has reminded me of another hurricane that came through here where another blue spruce went and leaned on my power line providing power to the house. I set up a 10-foot step on the deck, and my neighbor, who's a master electrician, was like holding the ladder, and guy, he's like, if you hit the wire, you're dead. And,
Yeah,
he's like, that was his electrical device. It was fiberglass, so he would have been fine.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, she's right. That was worse. And the fucking wire had much more of a bow in it. It was like it got stretched or something. I don't know. But
Helene, when
There was a hurricane.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Go on.
No, you go.
I was helping for a spot in the woods, and you're going up this mountainside, and you get to this point, and just all these trees are down, and you look to the right, and all the trees are down in a line, and it goes across the road, and then you look down the holler, and it's all down in a line. So it's like just randomly in this one spot, there was like 100-mile-an-hour wind gust that just took every tree down in a line.
wow, that wasn't a flood, like a river torrent that did that?
It wasn't water damage. It was just wind that took it down. And no one spotted a tornado. So it was just a high wind gust in a very precision spot. So
there was
a hurricane. Sorry. There was a hurricane that came through here maybe 20 years ago. And, it wasn't a direct hit. And, we're pretty far inland. But I just got out on the porch and got into my nice chair. And the winds got to be big enough where, the airport closed down for a little while. And so there were no flights. So everybody was out in their car because it was just the sound of the wind. And it was quite amazing. It would, you could hear the wind gusts kicking up to pretty 50 miles an hour, maybe.
Yeah.
So, and every once in a while I'd hear a loud snap of a tree just, echoing through there in the distance.
ASMR of destruction.
Yep. The sound the trees make when the wind gets blowing through them, it's just it's almost terrifying, but also fascinating.
Right.
Do you guys like watching electric storms, like lightning storms?
Okay.
They're scary, though. They're unpredictably scary. I was working in a school in Massachusetts as a floor layer years ago, and a lightning storm went overhead and struck the building. And we were sweeping rooms, getting ready for tile. I was an apprentice, and there was some dust in the air. And out of one of the outlets, a fucking string of lightning came and passed through the air in the room. Wow. And it was maybe 8 feet long. And a bunch of wires in the building were fried after this. And it was just one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. It was a direct hit to the building. And somehow this lightning strike got into the copper wiring, and it was in the room. I saw it with my own eyes. I thought it came from the outlet. Maybe it came through the window, and I was confused, but we were all freaked out after that. But all the power went out. And, workday was over, obviously.
Sounds like a scene from Final Destination.
I was like, did you see that? I was working.
I got to switch my internet. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Okay.
I was working with this Portuguese guy, and he looked like he saw fucking, like La Madonna, like everything. He was done for the day, He was freaked, man. Because I thought I was hallucinating.
When I was a young man living in Chicago, a lightning storm went by, and it struck one of the chimneys on one of the 3-story buildings. And a bunch of bricks got knocked out. It was amazing.
Like a triple decker?
What does that mean?
Oh, it's like a giant house with like 6 apartments, that sort of thing.
I don't know. It's an apartment building is the way I would describe it. They're not built like houses. They're built for multiple tenants.
Sure. So it was strong enough to pass out charge through the electricity, through the concrete and brick.
I don't know if that, or maybe just the, when the lightning goes by, it heats up the air, and explosively. And if it's right against the brick, it's like a little bomb going off.
Was it raining?
Oh yeah, it was raining.
I wonder if the water got superheated that soaked into the concrete and brick and
Could be.
somehow flash boiled. Hey, Last Dance, do you use a hardwired internet?
No, I do not.
Your connectivity is a little, there's a little bit of glitchiness going on.
Well,
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if it's me or
Maybe.
not, because I just want to know if I need to fix me or I'm not the only one receiving it. But Eastwind said it was just me.
I don't know if you know. I thought it was just Last Dance, and wife says Last Dance is choppy.
I don't know.
Everything looks
You
normal.
guys
on
look
your
good.
end?
Yeah. There's not much I can do other than go to another room and plug in on a wire.
Well, you've never had this problem here in this particular room before, though. So,
Yeah.
What's that internet speed site that everyone uses that does like an instant check?
I forget what it's called. Speed test, I think.
The ironic thing is my
Yeah,
internet
it's-
was perfectly fine until it's pub night, and then all of a sudden I got problems.
It's Ookla, Ookla.
Right.
That's the one.
Speed test by Ookla.
So I'll do a test and see where we're at here. Oh, geez, mine's not
All
even
right.
connecting. Oh, wow. I'm at about 307. Pretty good. RW,
Hey, what's up?
speed test by Ookla. See what you're at.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a scary one. All right.
Last Dance.
It's running now. Almost done. 45.71 megabits per second on the download. Now it's doing the upload. Looking about 25.
It doesn't
megabits
show
per second.
packet loss, right?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's on my
it
end.
looks-
I'm running at 3.8 or 4 megabits, so I'm the one that's having the issue.
Well, people are seeing me having a problem, so it could be my operating system and not my network connection.
Have you tried
Yeah,
turning it on again?
My download's at 305. My upload is
305, you bastard. Yeah, our uploads are at 15, but our downloads are terrible.
I think you might have some issues with yours, Last Dance.
Is that one of the
Yeah.
documents?
It won't let me do
Try it.
upload.
It's not you, Steve. Your numbers are off the charts, man. The only issue would be packet loss. And if Last Dance hasn't restarted his laptop for 6 years, it might be
Yeah,
the
Last
issue.
Dance choppy. More Last Dance choppies.
2 yards wide enough.
Packet loss. You lost your packet.
What do you
Whatever
mean?
the hell that means.
I wonder if
Cup
you-
Well, I
says
could
no
s-
problem.
Okay.
So you want it 3 across and 2
Yeah, and-
long.
The Cup
No.
is evil, so he could be lying.
Okay.
Yes. Hard to test, hard to know.
Oh, yeah. English Bottle Cap brings up a good point. All modern chimneys have a liner inside that is usually metal, and that's to stop carbon monoxide from seeping into the apartments.
2 yards.
So, of course, that metal liner inside is going to probably accept a ton of the charge from that lightning, and that's going to push off all of the surrounding brick.
Below that, so
Makes total sense.
bottom.
It looks like
This building was probably built in the 20s or 30s.
True, but I think they retrofit a lot of those chimneys because they end up hooking up modern like boilers and stuff to them.
I need
You don't want any of that exhaust, going
No.
awry. Thanks, Just Stevo. And I think you're talking about my internet, but I'll just take that as a general compliment. That's very nice.
It's going to go to your head for sure.
Yeah.
I know that I'm not playing Steve in any first-person shooter games, or I'm going to get wrecked. His 300 to my 4 isn't going to happen.
I don't play on this. I only play Call of Duty Mobile on my phone. That's like the only game I'm into.
Yeah, but
right
still,
now.
your speeds are so fast that even on the phone, I wouldn't have a chance.
Good point.
You'd be 3 minutes around the corner by the time that I pull the same corner. So
Interesting. Well, I had a question to pose to people as this got going, and I thought we might see Based Welshman around here tonight because he has some opinions that I might be interested in. But and average AVD.
I
What
tried
is-
to get him in, but he hasn't responded.
He liked that on Twitter though, and he liked the pub. He liked my tweet, so he knows we're here. So the ball's in his court, which is totally fine. What do you guys think about this? I'm going to propose a question. Whose presidency will affect the country more negatively in the long run?
The gay guy.
Harris or Trump?
Oh, didn't know that it was those two options.
More negatively in the long run.
If we
For you and I, like I'm not talking about, in your existence.
I'll go first. Last dance. Is that cool?
Yep.
I think that if our nation continues to do the same thing, to perform the same way as it is now, it will be more detrimental than if we can change and become more of a secure nation. So I guess my answer is the narrative is that the Republican Party is going to create change for more security, so it will be more beneficial. And if the Democratic Party maintains the same actions as is performing now, it'll be more detrimental. Those are based on narratives. Who knows what happens when they actually get in the chair?
Interesting. Last dance?
I would have to say that the Harris administration would be significantly worse.
Worse for the country in the long run.
Worse for the country. With Trump, it's kind of, you can't really be sure. So, there's a lot of, it's hard to predict.
4 years wasn't enough?
Well, I don't know. It depends if his goal when if he becomes president, maybe his goal will be to punish his enemies instead of, governing the nation. With Trump, you just can't discount that. He's just not a well-balanced person. With Harris, unfortunately, she doesn't seem to have a mind of her own. So you're going to be getting basically the Democratic National Committee is going to be the president when she's elected. It won't be the end of the world, not at all. But it will just be, high taxes and more spending and more attempts by the government to crack down on speech online and so I think if I just looked at spending, let's say, as being and also I just think it means more war. It just means more foreign wars, more. The Ukraine war will be, funded so that it goes on for as long as possible. With Trump, I suspect that would also happen with Trump. There's at least a chance, based on some of his rhetoric, that there would be some negotiation, some attempts to negotiate and find a peaceful solution. I wouldn't hold out a lot of hope for that, but the chances are greater with Trump than it'll be for Harris. But I could be surprised. Harris, maybe when she becomes president, she will develop a backbone, develop a spine, have some of her own opinions. I would love to see that happen.
Do you think that they should get rid of the Federal Department of Education?
Absolutely. The Department of Education is just a waste of money. That's all it is.
Like
It's a waste
FEMA?
of money. Well, FEMA, I mean, you could almost point to any of these places, but the
Exactly.
Department of
Sorry. Go
Education
ahead.
is basically is totally useless. It's absolutely useless.
Do they
It was
have any
started by
impact?
Jimmy Carter, and it never had a smart function.
Do they have any impact on the day-to-day goings-on of students in individual states, like the Department of Education? Do they outline or create curriculum? Do they?
Common Core would be federal, wouldn't it?
I don't think so.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they have any. I don't think they have any impact, and I don't think. But smoke wife, I certainly understand that, but smoke wife defines women's rights as abortion rights, and that's the only that's in women's rights because in
That's like
many other
slavery being
ways,
human resources.
That's not completely true. She's also referring to not just abortion rights, but the right of a woman to stay alive if she has a pregnancy that is not going to survive and potentially kill her or make her very sick. To have the hospitals not sure if they can even do an operation, making people wait.
What is the chances of that being
I
true?
would call that abortion.
It's
rights.
happened. It's happened.
Once?
I would call those abortion rights.
It's happened probably more than once. I don't know, a handful of times, but once is too much for that. That poor woman should not be made to go through that.
I refuse to accept that as the only issue in this election.
That's an issue. It's a powerful issue for some.
I think it's being made extreme.
Sure. In the meantime, we're pushing a war, helping prolong a war in Ukraine that kills 100,000 soldiers a year, soldiers and civilians. So there are other issues that are at least as important as that issue. And I'm not going to listen to someone who says that's the most important issue. All these issues matter for now and for the future. We now have a debt that's basically equal to our GDP. We're running deficits and debt like we were after World War II, but we're not. We're not in a world war. So, yeah, I think
that's a political
I think
definition.
there are other.
Right? You said we're not in a world war, but that's a political definition, correct?
Well, we're not mobilizing for war. It's not like the whole nation is mobilized for war like we did in World War II.
But that's based on our boots on the ground. If we would define it by our interaction of
it's more than that. It's more than that. It's production of weapons also. It's not at a wartime level. In fact, it's a weakness that we have as a country. It's a national security weakness that we don't have basically we won World War II by being a production giant. The Germans had better technology and better weapons, but we could outproduce them.
What is the number that we have to reach in order for our weapons production to be considered wartime? That's an interesting concept. Because if our weapons become more efficient and we make less of them, but they still get the same amount done, that's a strange equation.
Well, as English Bottle Cap points out, weapons are going to be drones. Drone production is going to be the future, and drone innovation.
We can't outproduce. Russia and Iran and China are outproducing the U.S. in terms of drones, because we don't make everything. All of our civilian drones are made in China. So they have the capacity, and they could turn the switch on that production capacity to move it to military.
Right. And when you're talking a drone to kill a person can be 5-6 ounces.
It can be pretty small.
China doesn't already have those built in, and they just have to activate them.
Right. Even
It's
if you're
basically a
talking
hand
about
grenade that it's carrying.
even smaller, if you're talking about a casualty in war, something that can blow a hole this big in a person, that's enough.
Yeah.
They're not going to go carrying a rifle forward to continue the fight. They're done.
Right.
Even if you take a chunk out of their leg, done.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
like if you remember the scene from the original Terminator when they're showing the war and there's like a few humans and mostly just drones and robots, as they would call them, but to us now they're drones. Just basically, that's the battlefield is automation, and it makes total sense.
I think
it's crazy.
I think you still need numbers and not just technology. I think technology is good, but it's not enough.
Is Duke talking about what's it called? Not NFC, where they fight in the cage?
I don't know.
Any of you guys know what happened to the Tatsuro?
Tatsuro. Whoop. RW just got nuked. UFC. No, I don't know.
What happened?
It looks like he just got disconnected.
TR versus Perez, is that the fight?
I don't know. He says Taira Tatsuro.
That's an instantaneous block if we play that. Can't play UFC. They're the toughest blockers out there. They have all the algorithms. He might have lost.
Well, I think he just wants. I think he just wants to know the result.
Oh well, yeah. I don't know. He'd have to Google it. I don't know. Sorry, buddy. I thought that maybe like somebody got killed in the ring, and we were going to look it up. Old lively days or something.
Yeah.
But no idea. Sorry, Duke.
But if you just talk about spending, and it's hard to predict. Trump spent a lot of money, much more than I would have expected a Republican during his term. So it may not. I think RW would probably say it probably won't make a difference.
Sorry, what? My computer shut down on me a little bit. What's happening?
I was just trying to summarize which would be worse for the country. It's really hard to say. Trump scares me more because I find him to be less predictable. But Harris, I predict, without a doubt, will be a disaster for the country.
What do you think would happen if Oliver got in the chair to the nation? What do you like? What's the narrative that would happen with that one? I have no idea.
Well, I think, everything would be better. That's what I think the narrative is. There would be less spending.
What does that mean?
Yeah, well, there'd be less federal spending. There would be less wars. There would be no infringing on civil liberties. We wouldn't have the Department of State trying to censor Americans on social media. All that stuff would be gone. Of course, Congress would still be controlled by the two parties, and so they could still pass spending bills, but the president could veto bills that are particularly outrageous, and he might survive a veto. He might get Republican support. So I think it would be awesome.
How does that work if you have no members in Congress that back your party, or very few?
Well, it means you have a hard time getting legislation to your liking. But even a president that just says no would be a huge improvement over what we have now. You know, Mr. Presidential vetoes would be a lovely thing to see on all these ridiculous spending bills.
Does that mean that Oliver would not support Israel's war?
I don't think he would.
I don't think that would be very
Not as much
popular
as
amongst
not as much
Congress.
as not as much as Trump and Harris would.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the point of of their insatiable appetite for backing of Israel, like to a incredible degree of like over the top level of certainty? You know what I mean? Like they make a point no matter what to always say how much they back them and how much
You had a point on that,
is so
Dance.
important.
Last week or something, 2 weeks ago, even you had a point on that, something along the lines of they'll show that they're not exactly in line with it, but then when they make an official statement, they'll say that they do support it.
But I mean, it's not like I predicted that. I mean, that's what's been happening.
Well did.
That's what's been happening for 40 years at least.
Yeah,
it's the same. They pretend they have somebody say something or make a point of saying that they don't agree with what Israel's doing. In this case, it was the Secretary of Defense, Austin, and some idiotic reporter said he was clearly angry. You know, and the next day, literally the next day, Biden came out with a statement says we support Israel's right to self-defense and, you know, death to Hezbollah and Hamas. And then Lloyd Austin made a statement again that same day saying we support Israel's right to self-defense. So it's always the same. It's a script that is replayed. It's a rerun. I've not seen anything different in 40 years.
Have you seen any movements? And I haven't paid attention in the last 7 days. What are we currently doing there? And what is Israel doing? Or what is the whole situation there, to your knowledge?
Israel is doing what they've been doing. They're attacking Hezbollah high-value targets. And
they're trading strikes in just Lebanon soil and Israel soil?
Yes.
So
Iran launched a missile attack on Israel 2 weeks ago or so. And Israel
we're waiting for the Israel response.
I think they're planning a retaliation after Yom Kippur is finished.
Right.
And on top of that, the U.S. just sent some kind of a fucking missile defense system over to Israel in preparation for their response and then the Iranian retaliation.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very good.
Certainly. I mean, we've been sending them Patriot. We give them, Patriot, state-of-the-art Patriot missile batteries. So
this is the bigger one,
right?
The bigger one, okay.
This is the X-Patriot.
Let me see if I can find it with a rudimentary search. THAAD, THAAD missile system to Israel to help intercept ballistic missiles.
It should be FAT, PHAT. That'd be better.
It's THAAD. It's the missile that
something high altitude air defense or something like that. Theater high altitude air defense, I think.
It went to Yale. THAAD. No, I'm kidding. Dumb joke. Yeah.
That is an Ivy Leaguer for sure.
Exactly. It's the Ivy League of missiles all day long. Right. Interesting answers from both you guys on my question about president.
You didn't answer, though.
Oh, I'm surprised. You noticed. I didn't answer.
Do you not want to?
I'll answer. It's hard for me to say, but I'm going to answer Donald Trump would be worse in the long run.
Based on?
Why I think that?
Yes.
Women's rights, for one, are very important to me. And I'm not sure that I trust him in his decision making.
I need to question women's rights because you and your wife are backing that. And I need to understand what the issue is with the states having the right to choose for themselves what they're going to do. Because I don't think that women are getting slaughtered through this experience. I think that there's a lot of people that don't appreciate that they don't have the freedom to do whatever they want.
I hear what you're saying. I just feel bad for the women in these particular medical situations and in these states that desire a particular medical procedure that they can't have because of somebody else's beliefs that has nothing to do with them. I think it's an infringement, and I think it's an overstepping.
Because it's the value of a life, correct? And when that life is life.
I guess if that's what people are going to apply to it, yeah, then I have to look to at it through your eyes, which I understand. Like if a person thinks it's one thing, then no matter how much I say it's not, then you're not going to ever agree with me, which is fine. It's an area of disagreement. So if it's that fundamental that there is no convincing one otherwise, then you have to essentially choose one way or the other with a candidate in that sense, because I'm not going to explain it to you in any way that you're ever going to say, oh, fucking Smokesteve switched me. No fucking way. I know that. And I know there's a lot of people like you or like that feel that way that I'm never going to be able to convince. So the only way to deal with it is to vote one way or the other. That's just my opinion.
But I mean, so like your wife's saying that it's a religious belief thing, but not killing is a law of the United States that's not that you can use secularly.
No, I understand that, but I guess it's a definition of where, and I believe you believe life begins at conception.
I believe that that which is inside of you is life. Yes.
So there you go. So just that's why that was the point I was making in my previous statement. If you believe that, more power to you. But I'm not going to change your beliefs with any conversation that I can have with you. So what I'm saying is my only way to want to achieve what I want to achieve, and that is to vote for the person who I think is going to be best for women. Women are important to me, obviously.
I struggle with where humanity is if one of the major talking points for who the president's going to be is the right to remove something from your body that would become a responsibility that you don't want, and to argue the semantics of is it life or is it killing or whatever. I think that that aspect in itself is intense.
That's not the part that I'm looking at, the casual abortion, as if you will. I'm talking about the medical side of it.
I would just have to know that this medical side of it that's being abused, that's being presented to me is as rampant as it's being made out to be, because it's hard for me to believe that a woman that's going to die if she doesn't have an abortion is being said to go fuck themselves. That's so extreme to me. It's very hard to believe.
That's the side I'm talking about. The general choice thing is more, I think, there should be some hard and fast rule about the medical side of it. And then,
it's not always that straightforward of you. These are things that if you don't do them, like if you don't have an abortion on day X, you might have terrible complications that the doctor never anticipated on day X plus 5. So it's not always as straightforward as it's obvious at this point that it's like, see, these physicians, if they don't adhere to this law, they're facing criminal charges. So they're going to be very, very conservative in this. And unfortunately, women are going to suffer that. Women, there's going to be, like everything else, there's going to be some fallout where some women are going to die that wouldn't have died otherwise.
Is there a separation of church and state in the example that you're explaining at the moment? Like, if a physician is being sued because of their choice of practice, that seems like religion dictating legislation?
Well, I
Or
don't
is
really
it
think
not?
of this. Smoke Wife says it's religion. It's not, in my mind, it's not religious belief that's doing this at all. It's simply a belief that life begins at conception and that fetal life deserves protection, like like life after birth. That's the issue. So I don't think it's a religious issue. It may be that religious people tend to believe this more strongly than people who aren't religious, but it's not a religious issue per se. I just think that, these are things, it is a reflection of values. I do place a higher value on women's working it out with their own life experience and own life situation, whether they want to remain pregnant, whether it's for health reasons or other reasons. I think that their right to continue to be pregnant or not should have higher weight than the right of a legislator to dictate that they may not make that choice. And I do think that even if physicians are doing what they need to do, there will still be women who will die because they could not get an abortion that they would have gotten otherwise.
I guess I mostly struggle with the ethics because I do know of aspects of Planned Parenthood and stuff like that where there's literally a business out of it and a darkness to it. And I would hope that that the direction we would move in is a nation that supports women so that the kid's taken care of, the woman's taken care of, and it's not this doom or gloom situation where they have to they believe they have to destroy the baby to have a good quality of life. I mean, that's what plays in my mind mostly. I know that there's the aspect of this woman will die if she doesn't get the treatment or these complications here and there, but it's overwhelmingly in my mind just that society doesn't want to deal with this responsibility that that's been.
I don't want to do that either. I don't want the state to pay women to have children that they don't want to have. I don't think it's a support issue. I don't think that's not the issue for me. And I don't want to reduce abortions by paying women to have children one way or another. I want that to be their choice, and that's the end of it. That's between them and their doctor. It's already I just think it should be the choice of the person whose body it is, and not other people's.
All right, so I'm still answering the question. That was just the first thing.
Sorry, I get into it. Go ahead.
It's okay. The second thing was that the Department of Education should not be abolished because it essentially serves, most importantly, special needs children. They do provide quite a bit for that. And all of the communities in this country that don't generate a lot of tax money to fund their schools are helped with funding from the federal government. Inner city, lower income communities, lower income means they don't really take a lot of taxes. So if it was solely based on that to fund these schools that don't have a lot of tax income, they're fucked. Maybe the Department of Education has issues with the way it's run, as all federal agencies do, but completely doing away with it immediately, full stop, just like that, is going to hurt the weakest, most underserved and special needs children the hardest. So, in my opinion, doing that would be, cruel. Frankly.
Question: does your insurance company cover anything when it comes down to special needs kids? Because my insurance company does.
I'm sure insurance companies do. Yeah.
And public school, the federal thing, that doesn't help my daughter one fucking bit. We have special classes that we put her in, and she's high functional autism. So yeah. I have different opinions about that one.
No, I hear you. Whether or not they do anything for you in particular, but they do fund the Head Start program, which is an early education thing. They do help with funding for that, especially for underserved people. Like, I don't mind helping poor special needs kids. Maybe you guys do. Excuse me, bad time for a burp. Maybe you guys do, but I don't mind that. You know, like,
Oh,
I think Head Start predated the Department of Education.
no, it did,
And
but
yeah,
some
yeah.
there's some
It's not. It's
funding.
not. It's not funded by the Department of Education. It's funded by a congressional authorization.
Right. So this is the thing. Like, the Department of Education in and of itself maybe isn't an efficiently run agency, but I don't want all of the funding that goes through it or doesn't go through it, whatever, to stop if the agency is dissolved. You know what I'm saying?
If you get rid of the agency, though, there'll be that much more money available for students.
So long as the pathway of money and the rivers of money that go to the right places isn't distorted by the dissolving of that agency, then I'm fine with it. But I want to make sure these things keep getting funded. It's very important.
Yeah, I don't. None of
And
that.
that's a
is
huge
needs
talking
at the
point
department.
it's a huge talking point of the Republican Party right now, is getting rid of that. And I feel like their purpose for that is because of the shit that doesn't even really matter. Like, oh, at least on the level of what I'm talking about, I feel like they're talking about like more of the, shit that libs of TikTok puts on Twitter than the real stuff that is going to affect real families, Does that
Maybe,
make
but
sense?
I just think. Well, I only know my opinion. I don't speak for Republicans or other conservatives, and I think Department of Education is one. It was never a good idea to create it, and I would love to see it eliminated. Everybody.
But there has to be a committee, a congressional committee, maybe then that would take on the they do have to kind of fund different things and allocate money. There has to be some oversight.
I mean, there was funding before there was a Department of Education. This was just Jimmy Carter trying to emphasize that he was the education president. So he created the Department of Education. I was glad to see it eliminated. I'm sure it does more harm than good, in terms of policies. None of it is needed for funding.
This is the point I was making before about when I said the libs of TikTok thing.
the Department of
Indoctrination. Like, I think that's a pervasive thing that people see when they look at schools nowadays. I haven't really seen it with a kid in school. I don't know.
What are we seeing in schools? The
Rainbow flags.
I see it, but at the same time, I teach my kids to accept everybody, but don't let no adult other than us or a doctor should be talking about your sexuality. That's how I taught my kids. When I went for my daughter's, that was 2 years ago, elementary school, it was an award ceremony. She was in 5th grade, graduating up to middle school. It was June, so it was rainbow flags everywhere. There was a teacher that was dressed up all in rainbow. It didn't bother me, though.
Oh.
But then again, if I sat in class and heard the teacher teach and see if she would do anything, not saying she would, I might have an issue, but there's no eyes on there, so I don't know. And that's why I try to teach my kids. Well, my son's graduated, but like in high school, my son, when a math teacher would get political, they would all whip out their phones and start recording the teacher so the teacher would shut the fuck up.
It's a good way to do it.
And it didn't matter which way it was. And there was only a very few teachers he didn't bring up, but also these kids are also brought up in the George Floyd time and all that other shit. So,
Biscuits here.
Biscuit, I mean, Biscuits just doesn't understand it. That's the problem.
yes,
Education. I mean, Brits don't understand that the United States is a country of 50 states, and education is a state function, and always has been, and even still is. And the Department of Education doesn't help anybody's education.
Well, in my understanding, it's more about funding, money.
federally.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
so
don't think it
federal basically covers between 7 and 8% of all state pre-college funding. So it's not a ton, but it ends up being a lot of money, and a lot of it goes to marginalized programs. So, like, what I'm saying is, don't do away with the funding. Like, we need to keep these, like a upper middle class school that everyone pays good taxes in, and the kids are doing well with a good football team and all that, aren't probably getting much from the Department of Education. But maybe part of that school is maybe the poorer kids. I don't know. I don't really fucking know. But what I'm saying is, I don't want those underserved children to go because the department goes. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, Last Dance, they got funded before the Department of Education existed, and theoretically they should get funded if it's abolished.
They should start funding trade schools then.
Is there strings attached to the funding, or is it just financial support?
I've never heard of any strings being attached to anything like that. What can you clarify?
I guess my question is, do they dictate any of what has to be learned if they're going to help support that school system? Or is it just, hey, you need money, here's money? Because if that's the case, fantastic, great.
I think it's probably more like, keeping the schools going, possibly paying some teacher salaries, paying para-educators who are additional educators to help with, special needs kids, that sort of money. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know, like, if curriculum or state of mind teaching has anything to do with. I can't see any connection with that.
I'd have to do a deep dive into Common Core and how it works. I have my kids in homeschool because I don't trust that the public system is simply going to teach them how to think. As one person in the chat said, I want them to learn how to think and how to problem solve. I don't want any force-fed garbage. And I fear too much lately that there's a lot of force-fed garbage going in, not just from the teacher's aspect to the student, but also from one student to the next.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah, my wife wanted to homeschool my daughter because of her challenges that she has and all. But we also looked at it with her challenges. It's better for her to be around other kids and all that stuff. But
yes, there's a loss. There's a loss involved with it. I agree.
There's a loss with it, and it would be really bad on her to lose that. But at the same time, like I said, I do homework. Well, I do the math and science with my daughter. My wife does the reading. And it's obviously you can see through my text through the years, I'm not a good speller or any of that shit. So,
I'm just glad you didn't have to type what you're saying right now.
Well, that's okay. So we always knew what you meant.
Yes. So we always have eyes on the schoolwork that she's on, and she's very honest what's going on in class all the time. But what we're more concerned about was bullying and all that, because she's very gullible for that, and she's one of the ones that she has a hard time lying, and it can suck because she could be making a kid miserable by saying, oh, your artwork looks like shit, but she's just being honest, and she doesn't know how to lie. So which
Oh,
got her in
no.
trouble a lot.
Honestly, it sucks.
A
And
blessing-
she actually got called
blessing in
racist
disguise.
last year because a girl came after her, and then she said something about her hair's all oily, and then they tried to make it a race thing, which had nothing to do with race. So
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
don't
won't
miss
make a
high school at
joke
all,
here,
man.
but it reminds me of a particular scene from Coming to America with the chairs.
I don't
after
even know that one.
You don't know with Eddie Murphy?
No,
How-
I never saw the movie before.
The first one I liked.
Okay,
The second
didn't
one
see
was
it.
very political.
I didn't see the second one, but the first one was absolutely brilliant. Good morning, my neighbors. Yeah, when he first gets to Queens, hilarious.
I'd
All
work
right,
at
I get the
McDougal's.
driveway, and
But my
fertilize.
my daughter, my wife was homeschooled, and she did miss out a lot of things being homeschooled. But she's fine. She's with me. She picked me, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
she
Problem
couldn't screw up
solver,
that
man.
bad, right?
100%.
exactly.
All those gaps are filled in now, so that's fantastic.
Nah, but her cousins, when they went to college, they went to Penn State. They didn't know how to act, and
What's a gravity bong? Oh, come on in, I'll show you.
the one,
They
the one,
figured it out.
her one cousin
They
started
sure
having
did.
sex toys. She starts selling sex toys. It was just like, you're not the same as I remember.
Yeah, that's the one thing where it's like once my boys get to the point where they integrate into the world, it's like a tsunami of, I'll use sin for lack of a better word, that they have to figure out how to navigate through, and the chance of them getting on board with something because they haven't been slowly integrated to the knowledge of it is there. You know, like you're just gonna catch that wave and ride it, bro.
Well, do you also do like other things with them, or they're around kids all the time?
No, we just did. My kids are literally sick as dogs right now because I took them to a social event and they both brought a disease home that has turned October into disease month.
No,
So
God.
it's hard for me to keep trying to like step out of the box and be social and then pick up the latest pestilence and bring it home. It's just I hate the experience.
But you guys, are they not Boy Scouts? Are they Boy Scouts?
It's sort of like Boy Scouts.
So they're around other kids a lot,
Yes.
right?
They
Okay.
experience that, not a lot. They are lacking in that department, but that's a difficult situation. I want them to be social and I want them to experience life and their peers, but literally every time we go out to do that, they get sick, and I just hate dealing with that for the rest of the month. Like I can't. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to just have Zoom hangouts with people either. I'm not. That's the new age bubble life.
Because my wife every kid that she hung out were from church. My wife grew up very, very religious, Catholic church. So
Right.
that's all she knew until one day she met me, and I screwed that up, should I say. So
I don't know.
no,
I could have done worse probably.
she could have done a hell of a lot better too. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like the woman is the one that has to have the compromising experience, not as much the man. Like, am I going to take this one? I guess I could gamble a little bit longer and see what happens. And we're just like, come on, baby.
You're gonna age like wine. You're gonna be fine. Me, I know what I'm gonna look like in 10 years. I gotta grab something now.
Yeah, fair enough, man. You're doing fine. I think all of us are going to look roughly the same in 10 years. Roughly, if we're either alive or dead, but we'll look the same. I don't know.
No, well, I had a six pack. I looked good. I had hair, and I knew what was going to turn into 10 years. So she lost out on that.
What, hair in a six pack?
No, she lost out with the look department. Everyone thinks like she looks a lot younger than me too. A lot of her friends think I'm rich because I look so old and nasty. Well, why would a beautiful woman want to be with me?
I think Topple's being a little bit too humble here. A little bit too humble.
No, I'm not.
So let me get you to answer the same question, even though I know what it's going to be, Topple.
Oh no, what?
In the long term, which candidate will be worse for the country, Harris or Trump? These two said
Think about it for a while.
Harris. I said Trump. Long term, not short term.
No, long term, I can't answer that.
It's
Like-
a total prediction.
As I'm going on right now, I think Trump is the best way of staying out of a war. Not saying that Harris would get foots on the ground there or anything, but that's one of my concerns with her.
What war?
Any war right now.
Oh,
And as the border goes, I think she would be better on getting an immigration bill signed than Trump would. So that would be good for the immigrants.
wow.
But I don't, long term, I can't. I have a 4 years of Trump, and I know we can't really go off that, but Harris, I have nothing. And I already said this before. When she wins, I don't think she's going to be anywhere close to being bad as Biden was.
Hey,
There's going to be ups and downs, don't get me wrong, but like she's not going to be as horrible as this guy was the last 4 years.
do you guys, anyone else here think that within the last month they've been treating Kamala like she's already the president?
Oh yeah. Well, why didn't DeSantis answer her phone calls?
No, but besides that, like the way that she's calling like Helene and stuff and like having these like she's calling from the Oval Office type.
They did the same thing with
PR?
Hillary. They did the same thing with Hillary.
Okay, yeah, it's just weird to me. Like, what happened to Joe, man? Is he just out of the picture for good?
Nah,
or-
Joe's doing interviews the same time she does interviews and kind of contradicting what she's saying when they do interviews together. So
Yeah. Well, that happened that one time there, but yeah.
actually I have it twice. I forget. The one was I forget what it was. But like I said, long term I can't go off of it, but I'm not saying Harris is going to get us into war, but money wise, I think I would say Trump. Oh wait, the worst would be Harris. So I would have to go with Harris.
Okay, so you're in more or less what we call rural or suburban Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
What are you seeing from your neighbors?
I told you you saw what my one neighbor said.
Is it all Trump, all of them, or
No.
is it-
No. We're usually a 50-50 mix. I have I live in a weird area that we're off a main highway and all, but it's a mixture of 50-50. But I would say 80% of the houses don't have any political things, and then it'd be 10% Trump, 10% Harris.
Huh. Yeah,
So-
well, obviously here it's vastly different.
But I
Are
don't
people
think that
talking-
matters.
Are in anywhere any of you guys are from? I'm in North Carolina, so I hear a lot more about it. But is how the government is acting in North Carolina and Tennessee for Helene emergency relief, is that conversation happening where you guys are?
Absolutely.
Not here.
definitely, maybe not where you are, Last Dance, but you see it. You see the scuttlebutt on Twitter, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't say nope. You know.
Oh
mean,
no.
between
In
ten
locally.
It's not a local topic though.
Yeah, it's not a local,
Well, I
but
don't talk to who do I talk to? Fucking the person at the beer store when I get a six pack, or like I don't
Yeah.
talk to people. The fucking
That's the
fish.
perfect person to talk to. The guy you're buying liquor from.
antisocial motherfucker.
I am.
Me too,
I
dude.
can't get away from my neighbors fast enough if I have to stop to talk to them. you
I
know?
love talking to my neighbor.
You never come to a complete stop with a vehicle. You just slowly roll.
I had to walk by them with the fishing rod.
Do
in my
you
hand.
look out the window before you leave to go to your truck just to make sure none of your neighbors are outside so you won't have to talk to them?
Absolutely.
No,
not.
because we have a secluded driveway. We're
Oh,
lucky
okay.
like that. But yeah, I do have to walk past their house when I go.
You don't have to say, "Hey, how about this weather?" and wave to them.
Well, you
I
know,
like my neighbors, so I don't have that problem.
Yeah, I like my neighbors too. So
Yeah, I like them too. I'm just antisocial. This is the thing. They drink, they hang out, they smoke. Fine. I have one or two friends. And that's how I roll.
no,
I
but
would not
we're-
get that vibe. You host a pub That's surprising to me to hear that.
Oh, you should have saw the first time he went on with Hayden. He had sunglasses on. He was all quiet.
So dumb, dude. Yeah, exactly. And
Hey, but
Natalie was there.
He went on before I ever went on, so
Yeah, I remember Natalie was there. Remember old Natalie? She was like, "Take your sunglasses off. Let us see your face." Hayden was like, "Yeah, man, come on." I'm like, "Yeah, what am I doing?" I'm like, "What am I trying to be? The Unabomber?" I had like
Well-
a hoodie and glasses on, and I was like,
Well, did
I
you
already
ever-
had your face.
Did you ever join a podcast before then, or was that your first podcast or podcast? Whatever you want to call this, a stream. You ever
That
joined
was it. It's my first,
one? Okay.
and
So
of course
Devil's
we all.
Advocate-
Well,
Sorry, in the
not we
chat.
all.
American
Say again.
Devil's Advocate in the chat says Americans deserve what they get. They want sitcom characters for politicians. They won't ever elect an intellectual. When have I had the opportunity to even have an intellectual?
Well,
I feel like
Trump's not smart.
assets left, right, and center have been my option. That's why I never got into the game, because it's like I'm going to choose Bush. No, I'm going to choose Clinton.
Let's ask him what country or her what country they're at, and then we could probably say the same damn thing to them.
I'm being force-fed politics like a goose from the top down, bro. So
What's
Interesting
an
comment.
intellectual?
And we'll
too?
get
I'd like-
delicious foie gras as a result.
Yes,
I'd like
when
to
they-
have
when
a-
they finally get me, Dan. So they'll have a delicious.
Watch it be
meal.
Canadian too. I'll laugh my ass
Nah,
off.
he's UK, I'm sure. I'd like to know what defines an intellectual, because we, like them or not, there have been some smart presidents. Just people that are high IQs.
Yeah, last
honestly.
one we had was Trump.
So whether
Yeah.
you're talking about him or
Obama.
Bill Clinton was pretty slick.
He was from Arkansas. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I know, but I'm telling you, he
That's
could speak.
Arkansas.
We don't.
He
You
was a
don't-
great
you don't-
communicator, man. He could talk to a lot of varying types of people. And
Well, that's
and-
charisma. That's not intellect.
Are you talking about
I find-
Obama?
No, Clinton, Billy, Slicky Willie.
I thought Obama was more of a charismatic character.
Well, he was. I love hearing that man talk.
Ooh, gets you,
He
huh?
made you believe you. He made you believe.
I am a citizen of the United States of America. You're like, I believe you.
I don't remember President Yang, but Duke says President Yang was a smart dude. But
I'll take it.
President Yang.
It's his brother Ying that I didn't trust.
Yeah, exactly.
Yang with his
You either get the
small
yin or
wang.
the yang, but
Really, Neil deGrasse Tyson for president?
Oh my goodness!
Oh God!
You
This
can
gets
have him as a
more
prime
gone.
minister first, and we'll see how it goes, and then we'll maybe take him on board.
I'd rather have Bill Nye, the science guy. How about that?
I like when they debated each other.
Yeah.
I would definitely
Same damn
take
thing.
Neil over Bill. on
Oh
that.
Why?
man, I'd go for Bill any day.
I go for Bill. He's for the
He's
children.
more entertaining as a puppet.
All right. I don't see either of them as puppets, but I do see Bill more as a puppet than
Because his
he's
climate
He's
shit.
owned by Disney.
no. I saw Bill from the COVID stuff.
Oh, no.
He was
Well-
pulling these fucking rags out, using them as masks and stuff, or
He's
face
trying to help the
coverings.
public.
They did
Try-
nothing, bro.
Stop the spread. Stop the spread.
Tying a T-shirt like in the shape of a face covering, Come on,
What's wrong with that?
Yeah,
doesn't do
keep
anything.
him practical.
It did
Neither did
this-
the mask.
It did the same amount as the N95 mask.
Let's just be practical. I just put my arm up like this. You can't get me now, bitch.
Nah. I miss wearing a mask. Cover
What?
it made,
What?
yeah.
made me look prettier. And
Oh,
all other
yeah.
women were
Get
prettier
out of here.
too.
last topic trolling.
And I didn't wear a mask. I wore what the neck shit. I would just put it over my face.
You're
Gator.
basically saying that the E channel should have been dictating health law for COVID.
Those gators
Well.
did nothing.
Oh, they didn't do nothing. N95 mask did so much more.
I like face.
Yeah,
tech.
I'm not saying that. I guess the N95 would do something with particulates.
Not the COVID, not COVID. It
Well,
was too small.
there's
There's a
nothing
good
wrong with the
idea, Lenny.
N95 mask. It's
It's
just
N.
that if you're wearing it for an hour, it's going to get through. It can't offer long-term protection.
Willie Nelson for president.
East,
I don't know about
Eastman
that one.
actually has an interesting comment. He says, I think more people cough without covering their mouth these days because of the mask. I would think that more people are much more health conscious of disease because of COVID now.
Yes.
But I can see also what you're saying, where it's like, you're so used to just coughing into your own face diaper that you don't, I don't know. That's an interesting concept.
Like, if you think about it, you probably wash your hands more than you did before.
I worked in BSL
Get done in the bathroom. Look at your hands. I don't see anything brown. We're good. We're good.
Right.
I'm a real man. I don't wash my hands. That's what
Just
liberals
rub them on the
want you
floor
to
of the
do.
bathroom.
Liberals.
I remember. Do you wash your hands?
Hand
when you pee?
washing.
Do you
Yes.
wash your hands when you pee?
Do you touch your
course.
doodle when you pee?
Yes. Is that the cleanest part of your body? Because it's not touching anything but underwear.
You're not skilled enough to just let it ride without touching it.
What?
You can't just like whip it out and hit your target without holding on to it.
No. Then I would have to like do this.
Well,
I mean, yeah, I do always wash my hands.
Why though?
I don't know, but I know my hands are as dry as fuck and like chipped and cracking all the time. So I wash my hands way too.
Get healthy hands. That actually really works well. That little green tube.
No, I tried that working man gear
Yeah,
shit.
work.
but
Yeah. That didn't work
I
for
can't
you.
get that. Nothing works, but
Wow.
this expensive shit we have right now sort of works. My doctor prescribed me some shit that like thins the skin. I don't want that. I'll be getting cut all the time, so I didn't pick up the prescription. But so
Because you're a working man, you got tough hands.
yeah, I just got to wash them all the time,
Well-
because
Well, that's what's causing your dryness too.
correct.
are you getting ashy bows?
I use lotion all the time. Little cocoa
you do.
butter. I do.
He's an advocate for
Actually
jerkins.
classy.
My wife has her lotions, and I have my lotions next to it.
I don't have any of that stuff.
I don't like being ashy. I'm sorry.
Well, you are in a colder climate. Maybe that's what's going on.
And I smoke.
Oh,
So my
smoking
skin's
is
dry.
no, that I can see that.
Yeah, it dries your skin. So
Even vape.
I would guess.
I didn't think of that.
What the hell does biscuit vapes mean?
What?
I control my stream by using my jeans waistband under my member.
In other
With his
words, he
pistol?
doesn't use his
Yeah,
hands. He controls it with
exactly.
his waistband.
What?
He's got
Right.
top
For a
level
second,
skills.
when I read stream, I was like, "What is he controlling? Like his stream?" But he meant his urine
You
stream,
should talk
Right.
about his
not his live stream.
It's time to
I-
defend yourself on voice chat, my man.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, Duke. Wow, he drops the bomb.
Go up to his question above that. That's the bomb question.
Duke.
Above Eastwind Farms. Now I'll let you guys answer that question because
You
No.
guys already know my answer, so I don't have to go for this.
Well, you got it. So, do you agree with this statement?
What? Yeah,
You-
I regret it when the cute little nurse stuck it in me.
yes. Wait, what are we
That
talking
sounded a little weird. That sounded a little weird.
We're talking about vaccines, man.
No, yeah, I didn't want to, but
That's a very different type of therapy, not gene therapy.
I was forced to for financial reasons.
To keep your
I
job.
guess I don't regret
Yes.
it, but maybe I do a little bit.
Also, Top,
No.
if I remember at the time, Top, you were saying you wanted to visit a special person in the hospital.
You wanted
Yes,
to what?
yes, that was the other reason. I couldn't visit my nephew in the hospital and chop
Right.
unless
right.
I had a.
I
See,
remember
that-
someone in the hospital during that time too, and they
bullshit.
passed away and no one was allowed to watch them
Nope.
pass away. That is so
My
That's
my
hard.
nephew's still here with me. That's great. But
Thank God, buddy. I didn't
I-
want to ask you,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
thank goodness you told
He's
me
doing
that.
great. He's doing great. But we did lose a father-in-law during that time. My father-in-law during that time period, which the rules. This is after COVID and things start calming down. One visitor a day. You couldn't have more than two, and he was in hospice. So
Yeah.
they refused to let him out of hospice to home care hospice too.
And this was a facility that was taking on infected people with COVID on a daily basis,
This
correct?
was kind of after COVID.
I just think it's funny. That's all I'm saying. A hospital saying that they can't let people in because
Yeah.
they might have COVID when they're literally bringing people in constantly that have COVID on purpose because that's their job. That's
I
just
don't know
funny.
what protocols they were following at that time. I really don't know. If
No,
there was a certain, I couldn't walk into the emergency room. It was a other part of the hospital. Oh, I didn't go. My wife, obviously, I would not take her day away. It's her dad. But there was a certain entranceway she had to enter the hospital with her COVID card, and they would take her temperature and all that stuff.
That's
So,
racist. That's like the servant entrance to the manor. I don't like it.
no, but do I regret? I didn't want it, and I had to for financial reasons, and I really want to see my nephew, and because things weren't looking good, but everything's great now. So
You,
No,
I'm
I
the
don't
only
know
one
why
here that's
we-
not. Go ahead, Dance.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know why we don't have a traditional COVID vaccine after 3 or 4 years now. It was
Well,
funny. I got
we
the
have
the flu shot. No, we only have our mRNA
Oh.
COVID vaccines.
There was a traditional one, but they decided that it wasn't, whatever that word is, it wasn't effective.
Efficacious.
So
I highly
if-
doubt they stated that.
a flu shot is just a shot of the dead flu, right?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, and
And
do you get,
Of last year's strain, if you're lucky.
and then what's the other one?
It's
Pneumonia?
got 4 strains in it.
And then-
Pneumonia. Every other vaccine you get is a traditional.
Do you get that one
The
too?
virus is incubated in a medium, and then it's killed, and it's refined, and you get injected with that. Only the COVID vaccine that we get commonly is based on mRNA. Now, I could see, it was given emergency authorization. It was, people were worried this was the end of the world, so I could see doing it. But that was years ago. Why don't we have a choice, at least, of a traditional vaccine?
I think it takes 20 years to
15 years and 5 years of testing.
to attain a traditional.
Are
approved
they producing a regular vaccine, a traditional vaccine?
I haven't.
See, we
I
get the
haven't
flu
caught
shot.
wind.
But
I
bird
think they're moving
flu,
forward
all
with
that shit.
mRNA. They're moving forward with the new technology. That's my concern. I haven't caught wind of production of a viral load vaccine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that the mRNA vaccine is harmful. I'm just saying it's new technology. We used it on an emergency basis. Maybe we step back
And actually study it.
study all the data for years, because that's how long these studies take. It's not an emergency anymore, so we can produce a traditional vaccine. I think the Chinese COVID vaccine is a traditional vaccine. Can we get the Sinovacs here? I don't think so. You can't.
No,
It's
thanks.
not gonna-
well,
Sad-
does it come
I mean,
down
we
to
are-
that if they pause this mRNA vaccine for any reason, and then we all would start thinking, well, why did they give it all to us in the first place? And lawsuits would be abound, so they kind of have to keep it going.
I don't think they're allowed to have lawsuits. They are
No,
blanketed.
they're blanketed.
Their Congress made them immune from lawsuits here in the United States.
Right.
I don't really care about that. If we're going to regulate medicines, let's regulate them in the best interests of the population. And
But
we are the data that's going to be happening over the next 20 years.
Well,
So
okay, but we've now had 4 years of experiments on us. It's not an emergency anymore.
no, I'm not saying to continue administrating. I'm saying the
yeah,
data is
no,
going to bleed out for the next 20 years, and there's already
We were the
data that's
pigs
not
they're
good.
testing.
We are the pigs. Yes.
And
mean,
my
but
kids didn't get it, so
either you stop the mRNA vaccine, or you convert all the other vaccines to mRNA if it's so great. Why
believe
is this
that's
just
the
this one
direction.
vaccine?
The flu, they're moving
Well,
in towards mRNA, and I believe they're trying to solve myocarditis with a mRNA gene therapy.
I mean, it's definitely, it eliminates the middleman. It's a much simpler process. If it's safe, then I'm all for it.
It's economical, and you can create it faster. But when you're changing your body's biology to produce something that's foreign to itself, that's hijacking your system with technology we have not studied. And I cannot see that working out in a good way. And the data will prove that, I do believe, even more as time goes on.
Well, I'm not afraid of hijacking my body if it's well understood. That's what's. But
Steve, do you regret it?
I do. I don't think I needed it. I was caught up in the whirlwind of it, thinking that it was going to save my life.
I was caught up in it too. I was afraid. I was fearful.
Yeah, I was even thinking about, like, my dad was in the area at the time, coming to visit or some shit. I don't remember. So I'm thinking, like, it'll make me less virulent to spread it if I get it, yada yada, or less likely to get it initially. I didn't really know. Ignorance was a huge factor in getting it. And also, there's a certain trust work you have with. You feel like they test the hell out of these things or whatever, and you feel like all these conspiracy nuts don't know what they're talking about. Why would they give it to every person on Earth if they're gonna kill people with it? No, that can't be possible. Can't possibly be possible. But I do regret it, and that I realized there was a public health response that wasn't an individual health. So they, in their wisdom, thought it's healthier to give it to just everybody and not worry about healthy people not taking it, natural immunity from already having it. Young people with strong immune systems, they just put this blanket thing down of everybody get it, you're doing it for yourself and for your neighbor and yada, yada, yada. And I didn't see through all of that propaganda initially. I saw it as just,
Neither did I.
Yeah,
and it makes me angry.
Saw it as somewhat of a sort of a civic duty for the greater good, but in hindsight, I was wrong.
Did you watch by chance the video I shared with you, Dance, about polio vaccine?
No,
that's all right. It basically just quickly to explain. Or go ahead.
I was just going to say the CDC still does health decisions, makes recommendations that are done for the greater, sort of for the population as a whole, and are contradicting, your individual doctor, what they would say. For example, my doctor does recommend COVID shots for people, and but she does say that you only get good immunity for 2 months. So, think about it. And she does offer flu shots, but she says we don't do a flu shot and a COVID shot at the same time, because if something goes wrong, we won't know which one to blame. We won't be able to figure it out, which makes perfect sense. The CDC does get them both at the same time. And their reasoning, they don't say what their reasoning is, but it's probably simply that if you get one chance to get a person an injection, get them both these shots. And they're willing to, give up on determining if there's a problem, which one caused the problem.
And let me add something to that last dance. With children, even toddlers, they'll give them 6 at once.
At once?
No,
Or
no,
not at
at
the same time.
6.
Yeah, one
Within the
time.
same, like a cocktail on the same needle.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a schedule.
When was that?
In other words,
kids
like
are getting
MMR. In
6
other
at
words,
the same
they're
time.
combining multiple virulence in the same injection. So
Yeah,
not so
like-
much
Yeah,
that it's
yeah.
6 viruses, but 6 needles, but six viruses in one needle
Okay.
to tag them
Yeah,
all at the
yeah,
same time in the
that's
schedule.
yeah. Dip, tap, strap, fucking.
All my kids were separate times. They might
Tetanus.
No,
receive
but-
2 of the same, but then
But if you
had to come back 3 weeks later to get another dose of something else.
get an MMR vaccine, that's
It's already
measles,
3.
mumps, and rubella. That's three different
Oh, okay.
viruses.
It's a lot to load a young life with. The science behind that, I think, is absolutely broken, especially when you look at some of the things in the schedule. Because if you're putting hepatitis C into a vaccine schedule, and the chance of them getting that is only if they're taking needles or around, blood that's loaded with hepatitis C already, it's like, why is that in a schedule? Why can't they
Sewage.
wait until they're older to decide if they want that or not? There's just questions.
And I know
No,
they
that's-
did this.
Actually, I gotta get my tetanus shot soon. I gotta schedule that.
I mean, that's why the answer should be it's America. You have your own doctor. Talk to your own doctor. That's what the
Well,
CDC should say. Let them,
Yes.
let this be
Your
between
doctor
you
will
and
know
your
better.
doctor. You can discuss pros and the cons and the issues, and we don't need to get involved.
But pediatricians are pushing multiple vaccinations as quickly as possible.
And
Well,
that's not
you could talk to your
not completely
pediatrician.
true. Like our pediatrician that we use is outside of CHOP, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and they're not pushing it, but they'll give us information. But it's also the school districts that you have to have. If you go to public school, you have to have this to go to public school.
Yeah, I
COVID,
remember. Yeah, that's
COVID's
right.
not one.
There's
COVID's
the
not one.
gatekeeper.
Measles,
Gatekeeper.
mumps, rubella are definitely one. Those are highly contagious.
Yes. So
Yeah, if they're
that's
active in
that's
the
the
community.
push.
I think
Thankfully, they
I'm
haven't
sure
been
polio's in there, right?
No, polio's not in that. No, not in. Well, not in my kids.
It's
They
been-
never got any of that.
Really,
I
it's
think
not part of
they
the schedule.
consider it. I think they consider it to be eliminated.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know why, because it's still in other countries.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
like-
Maybe that's fine.
There was a TED talk that I just watched of the doctor that was during the time of the polio vaccine, and they grew it in Vero, which is a green monkey cell, and they didn't realize that amongst that polio vaccine, the virus that they were using for the vaccine, there was also simian virus, and they knew that SV40, which is simian virus 40, that it caused tumorous growth, cancer growth in soft cell tissue. And so he was explaining how they knew when they rolled it out that it would do a major uptick in soft tissue cancers, and the medical industry moved in the direction of preparing or basically making a business out of it. It sounds like conspiratorial, but not really. And I think that vaccines are detrimental and not just a benefit to society. And I think that information needs to be more freely provided for people to make a decision off of. Because if you're going to take a vaccine, and yes, you will not be at risk of polio, but you will be 10 times more at risk for tumors growth, you want to be the one to be able to weigh that out for yourself.
Fair point.
I didn't say it as intellectually as he did. I'm not a doctor, but I thought it was interesting.
I don't know. That's a good point. We lost Topple. Did he say anything?
No, he did not.
Said, help!
Right. All right.
Duke asked up a little bit higher. It says, "Is it because you're all dads you don't party on here anymore?" I said that's not the case for me, but
I'm
It's
having.
just-
What do you
yeah.
want? My kids are 30 years old plus, so that's not a reason for me.
it's just a laid back night.
Yeah, I'm still drinking, dude. Probably had a 6-pack, a glass of wine, and
So
one
what-
shot of vodka.
I'm having
What do you
oranges.
think? What do you think Duke means by that?
It is also interesting that you choose to talk about and not. That is, of course, also partly, but is there one above it or something?
No, I mean, I answered him with this. I don't ever have any plans, really.
Right.
I had
we
one
don't.
plan, which was to repeat a question to you guys that I heard today on the news, which,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't. It actually was organic. I haven't repeated that question yet. So
Oh, as in how the pub works. Okay, I thought it was in a specific topic. Gotcha. Sorry. never
I
mind.
think it was how the pub works. But now I want to propose a question to you.
Okay.
Stupid phone. Here we go. It's great when people blame their phone for themselves being an idiot. Stupid phone.
Don't you pick on that spy device. It's your best friend.
All right. Which is a more potent? Now, this, Duke, was pre planned. Which is a more potent election emotion? Hope or fear?
So, can you repeat the question?
Which is a more potent election emotion? Hope or fear?
I think it's hope.
So, I believe that when someone takes their own life, it's because they have no hope. A person can live in fear their whole life and not think about ending everything. But if that person has no hope, then they have nothing. So I'm not sure how to answer that question. I know that fear is used all the time to manipulate the masses, but I do believe that hope is more powerful than fear. So I actually don't know how to answer that question.
English Bottle Cap and Eastwind Farms both say fear. And Mr. E says fear and anger. And I think you guys are missing the point of this. So, what it comes down to is what this question is asking. From the current presidential campaigns, you have Harris saying hope, 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 and Trump is using fear, anger, fear as his thing. And you both said hope, which would lean to the Harris side.
I
Well,
fear what her version of hope is.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, that she doesn't fill me with hope at all.
No, I guess I guess it comes from the Obama thing. Obama was a big hope guy, and it was kind of a theme. And, Joe,
But
now her.
I think fear is used on a daily basis. Is very effective for scaring people into doing your bidding on a daily basis. But I think for an election, especially a presidential election, I think hope has more power if you can convey that successfully.
Interesting.
Then once you get in office, use fear to get your way.
then you turn it on its head. You bastard.
Right. Here's your hope, you son of a bitches. I got some fear for you instead.
The Bible says it well. When they say peace, peace, then comes sudden destruction. So anytime I hear a politician talking about peace, peace, it pricks my ears right up.
Well, this is the results from Michael Smirkanish earlier, which fear 59%, hope 41%.
Well, I'm in the minority.
That was after General Stavridis, who's I don't know if you know him, Last Dance. He's an author. I think he's been in a couple of Democratic administrations. Came on and chose hope, and that raised hope from the high 30s to 41 prior to Smirkanish showing that poll, which Michael said. And I agree with them. I think the biggest thing that I said earlier, like Kamala would or Trump would be more detrimental in the long run for the country. One of the biggest things that I do like about Trump is his stance on immigration.
America first.
Yeah, and some of that actually has to do with there's fear involved with the way that he
Portrayed.
campaigns using that. He uses there is a fear aspect, which I hate. The fear of immigration, and you don't want it to be a sort of a nebulous of hate associated with it. But I do think that he played that part well with the border. I mean that's a good use of fear.
You have the chat here on the side saying that Kamala Harris's side is using fear against Trump, but Trump's side is using fear also. They're saying things along the line of, if we don't vote for Trump, then this is the last election. If that's not a fear tactic,
I've heard that on both sides. I mean, it's
right.
It's bizarre.
Right. So that's a fear tactic. And I want to point out quickly, Mr. E did I don't know if he did a spelling error on purpose, but he wrote division, DEVISION. And that's a brilliant pun, because when you take away people's vision of the truth, that's how you divide them. But well said.
Yeah. Very well said.
See, I think something like immigration, I think there are very legitimate complaints about the way it's done in this country. But I do think that Trump is pandering to that fear with these idiotic hating, eating dog shit or whatever it is. That's just a bunch of shit, and it brings out the worst in the country.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, but both sides do it. I mean, I would have to take issue with any claims that the Harris campaign is about hope. I mean, it's about fear too, as well. I mean, we see ads all the time that Trump is going to institute a nationwide ban on abortion, and
any smear campaign is fear.
Yeah.
Well, remember,
exactly.
Joe Biden's last real attempt at fear was when he did that bizarre speech, and I think it was in Philly, all bathed in red, like fucking stormtrooper or something.
Like that Nazi.
There was camera tricks to that too. So
well, whatever, but that was a clear.
They made him look like a dictator, which he is a dictator.
Yeah, maybe.
I stand on that, and I don't care what anybody says. He's a bigger dictator than Trump ever was.
I have my complaints about Harris, but I mean about Biden, but I wouldn't call him a dictator.
Oh, he's a bigger dictator than anyone else. Mandatory this, mandatory that.
Well, after seeing the Hunter Biden videos, I will say that those Bidens are quite the hung dictators.
Yeah, they got the dick. They put the dick in dictator.
Come on.
Wait, they good? They on?
Well,
they doing good?
That's not what I got.
I never saw those pictures before.
Yeah, that's a interesting take on all of that released documentation.
Well, you saw that. Did you
like
see
a horse?
I mostly remember him in his tidy whities that look like a diaper. That's all I can.
They're tidy whities. They came
in
you can't trust them. You can't trust the tidy white. But sorry.
No, you can't.
Topple, we were asked an interesting question, and I'm curious if what your answer would be.
Oh no!
Steve, are you willing to ask him a question?
Sure, I will.
I am gay.
Who?
Well, that was given.
What son of a president smokes crack the best with a black hooker? No, sorry, that wasn't the question.
That was the Delaware or governor, wasn't it? No, not governor. I forget who it was.
Anyways, what was the question again, RW? I thought I already
Fear
asked.
and hope. Fear and hope. He wasn't
Well, he
here.
didn't hear it. Is hope or fear more powerful?
Is
as
hope
an
or
election
fear
motion.
more powerful for a presidential? Now I'm going to refine it because it is actually like as a presidential campaign strategy, hope or fear.
It goes hand in hand because Harris is doing both. Trump is doing both in different kind of terms. They're both running on lies of fearing, like, oh, Harris, open borders. Trump, ban abortion. But at the same time, I grew up middle class, so I care about the middle class. And then Trump is, I'm going to make sure that these illegals don't take your jobs and all that stuff. It goes both ways. But if I was going to run a campaign, I would go for fear. Because I'm a dictator. That's why. So,
Yeah, cut straight to the,
that's why.
Straight to it.
I gotta lie.
No hope.
No hope. No hope.
That's fair enough, man. At least you're honest.
No, but
I wonder if it's like, if that's how they do it. Like there's a campaign meister, sitting there thinking, oh, we need more fear. We need 25% more fear and 17% less hope. The mix isn't correct. We need to refine it a little bit.
But
sadly, that's probably true, Dan. Sadly, that's probably what happens.
Every interview, they're both striking fear that if Harris is president, this is going to happen. If Trump's president, this is going to happen. The Democrats run it. They started off with, he's an attack on democracy.
Not the Republic, though, just democracy.
Yeah. So it goes both ways. So it's just what works. I don't know what works these days because I really do think more people are more informed now. Some are misinformed on social medias, though, but everything's at your fingertips.
Yes.
And I do believe that using just Google, it's going to give you more biased shit. I do agree with that stuff, but I think I asked that question before. What is the best search engine for non-biased bullshit? Everything's biased now.
I don't know the answer to that one.
Honestly, I'll give you my answer. I would search stuff like that on Twitter.
No, Twitter's the worst.
Hey,
that's misinformation right there.
Yeah, but if you're like, need local oil change, type it into Twitter, I'm not sure it's going to help you out too much.
Local oil change, Reddit.
No,
I've used DuckDuckGo and Google, and they both have different sponsors, and they still have the same exact user interface. So I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
Whichever one's going to plant a tree every time I do a search, that's the one I'm going with.
Well, when I'm searching breaking news, for example, I go to Twitter, and they're by far the best.
Go to Twitter to see video and pictures, but don't follow the narrative, though, right?
No, but when you search,
I want to go and
Twitter,
see, like, if I heard, missiles are, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I go to Twitter for that too, but I'm not reading the narrative. I'm just watching the videos.
You got to just look at it and believe it's all fake, though. Because there's so many
you get it
bullshit.
You get it without narrative, or you can get it without narrative on Twitter. It's just you can. It's basically just raw facts.
Or it's raw posts. How do you know if it's true? That's the hard part for me on Twitter.
Well, you vet the people. Like if I go on Raw's Alerts or BNO News or even Steve Lookner, and they're covering a mass shooting or something, God forbid, I generally those things they get from sources that are there.
Well, it's not a panacea. RW, some of those sources mentioned gotten it wrong at times, and you do need to have a brain. You need to plug your brain in. There's no excuse for simply believing what you read without having a brain plugged in.
When it comes down to mass shootings or like those like the assassination attempt with Trump, I wait a couple days to get the facts. I don't take anything I see, even from
Exactly.
mainstream news, because it's all bullshit. Like
And you
when
also-
Trump got shot, what kind of gun? Oh, he used a this, which was not true.
AR-15.
Yeah, I even put out that he used the wrong gun. I said a 408 Chi-Tac, and it wasn't. It was a Win Mag
No,
300.
the sniper.
No, I'm sorry, the guy who killed the sniper.
Oh yeah. I was about to say, you can't mess with that.
No, the sniper's gun was a piece of garbage.
But
dude.
then you go to the school shootings, and then you start. Oh, it was probably a trans person, or it was a white kid. No, I just wait till all the facts come out. It was a Republican. No, it was a Democrat. No. Wait till
Sure.
the facts, and it shouldn't fucking matter because whoever that person was is a piece of shit in this world anyway.
I'd say
I'm not,
go.
I'm not
There's
putting them
another-
in that category.
I know from personal experience that one thing I do distrust is when someone says government sources tell us X. First of all, that may not be true. And second of all, they might be lying intentionally.
Yep.
I think video release for Twitter is fantastic. Like if you type in breaking, #breaking, and you're just watching video feeds that come in, like if there's if there's airstrikes and stuff, you're seeing new airstrikes and you don't know where they are. You don't know a lot of information, but you know that a strike happened. And then you just have to know if it's an old strike that they're saying is new and that's old footage or whatever. Then it just then you got to wait for the freaking user content or whatever they call that, where like people add notes to these posts. They're like, actually, this is an airstrike from 1993 in Iraq.
Right.
Sure.
Anytime Elon posts something, there's always community notes on it. And it's just hilarious. And it's always bullshit too. And it's like there's no note needed.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, what did you think about that robot cab that he has coming out?
I didn't look into it. I saw a picture, I think. That's it. The golden van?
Something like that. I don't know.
Is it a limo or a van or a bus?
It kind of looks like a Tesla B or whatever, the one that's got the bubble top.
I'll look it up right now.
Last Dance, did you see that release?
No, I didn't.
It's a robot taxi, or what is it meant to be?
Yes.
A robot taxi.
Robot taxi.
So we're putting Uber people out of commission now too.
Oh no, they're gonna have to get a real job. No, just kidding.
I mean,
I don't
know how much I would trust this thing.
Robots are going to take all of our jobs soon.
No, see, that's the thing.
No one's going to trust a. Go on, Smokesteve. Sorry.
No one's going to trust what, a robot taxi driver?
Here we go.
They will. If you grow up that way, yeah, they'll definitely. Isn't someone doing that already?
No.
I thought there was a Tesla. I thought there was something going on already. And they tried it in New York City, and people would stand in front of the car and then spray paint the car.
Well, no, it's not like at this level. This is a huge commitment by him because he had one of his cars run over a person years ago, like with that automatic human detection or whatever. So,
right.
Was that I thought that was the Google Earth car.
Was it
the Google car?
It might have been the Google Earth car. Ew, what the fuck? It looks like a toy.
It reminds me of iRobot when they try to kill him on the highway. Those two things roll up and kind of look like that, and then all the robots pop out of it.
It looks like a 30s Art Deco project.
Let's just say it's nowhere near completion based on that image.
Hey, I'll give him. When that truck came out, I was surprised that it actually reached the market as fast as it did.
That thing is so freaky looking, dude.
They were supposed to have a quad that rolled up onto the back of it and charged inside of the unit of the truck. Never came out. And then there's also a shed that it could park in that had all the roof was all solar panels, and you just park in it and it can charge it, and it was all like it was all decked out. It was really cool.
Well,
Never happened.
you guys remember Demolition Man?
I love that movie.
What year was that based in?
I'll look it up now.
All right, I'm gonna hit the head. I'll be back.
It's kind of given like Demolition vibes, other than the cars are not flying. Or did they fly? I don't think they fly.
2003. No.
That wasn't based in 2003, was it?
So I'm playing the Xbox or the video game Cyberpunk, and I was laughing because I went into the bathroom of her hotel or her
three shells,
and there's 3 shells on next to the toilet. I was like, that's exactly what that means.
Last Dance. You never saw Demolition Man? Sandra Bullock in her prime?
No.
2032.
2030. Okay.
Phoenix was thought in 2032. Yeah.
The only restaurant available will be Taco Bell.
It's luxury though, so
that's a good movie to see. Last Dance. Put that on your list.
Okay.
Yeah, Duke. Sandra Bullock was in that movie.
That was the prime. That was prime.
And Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes.
And they eat rat burgers. It's fantastic. And what's
Whatever
the guy that's
Wesley
underground
Snipes?
leader?
Wesley Snipes was just in wherever the hell it's called. What's the superhero movie? Deadpool. He got into financial ruins and went to jail for a little bit. So,
oh, okay.
Who was the guy that was the underground? Was it Dennis Leary? Dennis Leary, the guy who ran the underground resistance. Was he a comedian or an actor?
Yes,
I agree with Duke. It's not a good movie, but it was like it has its things.
It was a fantastic movie. I highly disagree. Top 3.
Not top 3.
You got Wally, Demolition Man, and I don't know what the third one is. I'll throw it out later.
Wally. Come on.
Watch it again, dude. Watch it again.
I was just talking about that Indian guy in that. He's so hilarious. I forget what his name was.
The Indian guy?
The Indian guy. Is Wally the one I'm thinking of?
I don't think so.
With the robot?
Yeah, Wally's the little robot. What's the Indian guy?
In the 1990s? Are we talking 90s?
What are you talking about?
Oh, God damn it. Now I gotta look it up.
When did the movie come out?
Oh, you're talking about Short Circuit, dude.
Yeah, Short Circuit. Sorry.
I just got my son a Johnny 5 Lego kit by Temu Lego of Johnny 5. It's pretty cool.
Have
I
you
was gonna
seen
say,
Short Circuit Last Dance?
Nope.
Oh my goodness. Really? Johnny 5? All right, that's cool. Legend.
I don't see enough movies.
He was in other countries doing bad stuff, so he didn't have time for movies.
He was designing the deep state MK Ultra behind these videos that were coming out.
Yep, that's me. Mr. Deep State to you.
So English Bottle Caps talking about and Mystery Idiocracy. The fact that they were wearing Crocs in that movie and that everybody wears Crocs now, even including myself, was on point. Their clothing, I haven't seen people wear the clothing that they pull out of the wall yet and just use once and throw away, but I'm sure we're on our way.
Oh, Biscuit, get your ass on here. We're going to debate this list. Independence Day, you're a Brit. What are you doing?
Oh, good movie, but didn't see that coming. Shawshank Redemption was a great movie. I haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine.
Deadpool 1 was much better than Deadpool 3, I'll call it.
Really?
Yeah.
Everybody's praising the Wolverine Deadpool.
Oh, because I'm not really into the X-Men bullshit. I'll watch it. Well, I don't want to
watch the cartoon in the 90s?
No. I wasn't into
that's the problem.
I was watching Live Leak. No,
Magic School Bus.
Wholesome Live Leak.
I'm a well-educated man. I know every shooting from now to 1982.
Actually, that didn't come out to, what was that, 2000? Orgish. Orgish was 2002.
Yeah.
I think it was
something like that. That's about right, yeah.
It was the beheading. It was the beheading that got it kicked off. So
right.
What are you sipping on there, Smokesteve? You can't hear me.
Everything.
Look at him. He just
I'm
looks
waiting for him to break out his little nasty cheap bottles of like banana flavored
99 bananas.
99 bananas or whatever that stuff is. Tastes like runts.
But let's see, Independence Day, the Valley film. It went to cinema to see. Oh, okay.
No, dude, Independence Day. I like
Now,
the other
now
one. Was
Biscuit made me feel like shit.
Enemy
Sorry.
of the State. Was Enemy of the State better than Independence Day?
No.
No.
I like. Well, I love Will Smith too, so it's kind of hard to fight. And
Even
who was
after his
the
bitch
woman?
slap experience.
I blame
Hey.
her. I blame her.
Hey,
He's
for a bonus, what was Blink 182's play on the name of that movie for their album?
what on Independence Day?
No, the other one RW was talking about.
Oh, Enema.
Demolition Man.
That's it, RWs. Enema of the State. Great album.
I don't know.
That was the one they ran
probably
around
was
most
like an
of the
Enema.
fucking videos. They were bare ass naked running around Los Angeles. All the small things. And of course, they're running around naked. Talk about self-effacing. I absolutely love that.
My wife's, that's her style of music. I never got into the punk or
Punk Grudge.
yeah,
It's barely
that's
punk.
Green Day type
It's
stuff.
mostly, yeah. It's not really punk. Punk is, although the naked shit was sort of punk.
Well, it's like it was like new age punk. It wasn't like
Red Hot Chili Peppers was doing that.
yeah, what was the major band? Misfits and stuff like that. That was the actual punk kids were wearing that kind of outfit.
Misfits, Black Flag,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Descendants.
I
Horrible.
never
horrible
studied
music.
music. One of my teachers, his secondary job was a drummer for a punk band though, and he never told us about that life. We just knew that he was a punk drummer and he taught like social studies or something. So we're like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
You're a double agent.
That's punk, bro.
This is the society that we're going to burn to the ground.
That's punk. All day long.
What's your favorite movie, Last Dance? Is it Dances with Wolves or
The documentary about the Beatles.
No, I don't really. I never thought of a favorite movie. I don't know that I have a favorite movie.
Really?
Schindler's List?
Yeah.
No, I would
The
say
Pianist?
probably The Godfather.
Ew.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought yours was
Fucking
Blues
awesome.
Brothers. You're selling
It's
out
a
now.
fine movie. Certainly a great movie.
No, I mean Blues Brothers is great and absolutely well produced and well put together, but I do love mob movies. I would say The Godfather,
Scarface.
Scarface, and
Goodfellas.
You were a Sopranos
Goodfellas.
guy.
I
I like
love
Goodfellas.
And of course, Through Fire.
I never saw that one.
Well, I was quoting Gandalf from the Lord of the
Lord of the
Rings
Rings.
Oh,
series. Yeah.
I have never seen them.
Love the
Wait,
Lord of the
that's a
Rings.
mob movie?
No, I don't
Well, if you
only love
if
mob
you look at the
movies.
No, you were on a mob kick, and then you said
no,
Lord
the
of the
Hobbits is a pun on mobbits. It's a
Oh,
small
okay.
mob.
I think honestly, I would take the Lord of the Rings over the mob movies.
Really? Mm.
Oh yeah.
What about the Muppets?
Hey, well, don't
No,
hate. I
hate.
love them with
That's
the
such a
kids. When I
strong
watch
word.
with the kids, but it's not a movie. It's fluff, you know.
Very
Just-
creative. Better than Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, Fraggles are,
Too childish. Yeah, get out of here with that childish stuff.
same with the Smurfs.
I love The Lion King,
Which one?
the first original one.
You didn't like the remake?
I never saw the remake.
Yeah, you're doing
Fro-
all right then.
Frozen was better.
Then The
Which one?
Lion King,
Oh yeah,
Which one?
Frozen.
Uh-oh.
I would take so many other Disney movies over Frozen.
I loved Frozen.
What did you like about Frozen? Was it the songs?
Well, they all have
No,
songs.
it was the snowman.
Oh, what his
The
name wasn't
little
Gandalf. What was it?
Yeah, I was gonna say Gandalf.
Can't remember what his name
Rudolph,
was.
Gandalf,
No.
Gua.
Hasselhoff?
Wife will chime in.
Do you want to build a snowman?
I just watched
Yeah.
it today. We just
Hey, you want to
watched
do
it.
some blow, man?
Yeah, buddy.
But I love that movie.
Well,
Hilarious.
I like Elton John. I know you guys don't like him,
There you
but
go.
that was
I
Everybody
don't
knows.
like
surprising.
Elton John. He's just creepy as shit now.
What?
Olaf.
Olaf, there you go.
Yeah.
Olaf is right. Thank you, Vapes. Can trust who?
Elton
Which Disney
John.
princess are you?
What?
Which Disney princess are you? I guess is the question.
Me?
Yeah.
I like the little, and I like Elsa and Anna, and I really do love Moana. She's brilliant.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
not a princess though, but that is a great
But
movie.
she kind of
too.
is. She kind
She's
of
not
is.
a princess.
Kind of
Well,
is.
she is though.
She's
Last
the
Dance is
father-
just standing here like, what the fuck?
Her father
Chieftain's
was the
daughter.
king.
Last Dance is like, what Disney movies were out when you were a young lad?
Cinderella.
Steamboat
elf?
Mickey.
What's the
Steve-
elephant? Dumbo?
Dumbo is not a Disney princess. Top. We'll get out of here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I believe it was the year of
Pinocchio is,
1929 when Last Dance was 17 years old, and they came out with Steamboat Mickey. It was the first
Yeah.
cartoon ever released.
Isn't that the
Open foot down,
racist Mickey?
Don't talk about that part of it.
Hey man.
But yes, the black guy in that skit is extremely stereotyped, bro. I mean, it's just watch Mickey and ignore the rest. Mickey's cute. Who do we got?
No,
there?
we all had children, and we all got sucked into Disney. So
Yeah, I'm not on board with almost anything they've put out recently. I haven't.
Toy
really-
Story. I haven't seen the last Toy Story they brought out though.
I'm
But that's
even
not
sure what
Disney.
that is.
That's Pixar. You don't know Toy Story?
I know Toy Story, but I'm not sure which. Is it the one with the teddy bear? Like I don't know.
No, there's a newer one out.
I haven't seen it.
I'm
I haven't seen it.
surprised.
How
The last-
about,
the last Pixar was Cars that I got into because of Luigi.
Okay.
What about Encanto?
And can't.
I haven't watched it. That's with the Day of the Dead for the Mexican
Yes.
family. I haven't-
Los Dios
Oh, I
de
saw
Muerto.
that.
That's no bueno for me.
Yeah,
Never
no
heard of it.
bueno.
Too satanic, RW?
I mean, spiritism is a no. So I'm not just gonna go and watch and share a movie with my kids about that. I'll pass.
Okay, good. Yeah, good on you.
But like even Moana, it's all about the spirits of the earth and Gaia and all that. So it's like there's no winning. It's just a matter of what am I going to allow? How blunt am I going to make the story?
True, but Moana was good, and The Rock was awesome as Maui. You
And
watched it, right?
I liked Hey Hey. Hey Hey was a great part of the movie too.
Hey, hey was hilarious. The chicken, the thing was as dumb as the
Hey.
Hey, hey,
Bag-
hey.
bag of wet liver, and it still managed to somehow survive.
I have a guinea hen. There's only one left. The other two have been taken out, we believe, by a massive hawk. But we have one left that is dumb as a brick, and we might rename it to Hey Hey. But it is surviving. It's literally sleeping right outside the house now on the rail outside of where my wife sleeps, where we sleep. in our
Guinea
bedroom.
hen,
Yeah,
guinea fowl.
yeah, guinea fowl.
These things get to be like 4 feet tall, right?
No, that's more like an emu, or
Okay.
like a not an emu. We have a blue heron that's about 4 feet tall down at the pond, though. It's pretty.
Those are cool. Can you catch it and make it a pet?
Uh,
Made it with
it's too
the
smart.
guinea fowl and make a great blue guinea fowl. You know, let's get something going here.
Once I befriend the blue heron, we'll work from there. I'll let you know how my progress is.
Do you have a cast net? Can you do one of those? Throw it out there?
I have something like that, yes, but this blue heron is probably like 20 years old and it's very intelligent.
Well, don't throw it on the fucking heron. I'm saying catch fish with it and then
Oh.
befriend it with the fish.
Right.
I'm not saying
no, I
capture
see-
the heron.
I
What
see
kind
what
of a
you're saying.
crazy person you think I am?
Yeah.
What you want to do?
I'm not sure how to answer
Throw it
that.
on it. Throw it on a little school of bram or mullet or something, and then catch those babies, and then throw it into the grass for him. Within a week
and then
of
like
you doing
breadcrumb it
that,
into my van.
oh, dude, within a week you'll have it eaten out of your hand. Those things are great. I befriended one in Florida, and years ago. They learn. They'll come back and stand right next to you until you give them a fish after a couple times. 'Cause that's
Well,
what they do.
I will I will catch some fish and entertain that when I have some free time. I'll let you know how it goes.
I know, yeah, you have tons of free time.
My pub time is very precious to me. Duke is
Coke.
challenging Last Dance in the chat, though, just so you know.
Duke's challenging?
Yeah, you're getting a challenge, Dance.
A documentary
I
about.
can't remember movies. If you named them, I would say, yeah, that's a great one, but I can't remember.
Mm.
Yeah.
Great letdown.
Well, Duke, you're gonna have
All
to
right.
move on from that hope.
He doesn't want to be criticized. That's all it is.
No, it's not it at all. I don't.
The Bird Shack.
Birds,
Are you talking
The
about
Birds was a great movie.
Bird
Crow,
Shack. Bird
The Bird
Shack.
Crow,
Bird
Caddyshack.
Cage?
Bird
Bird-
Cage.
Bird
It's the one with
Cage.
Robin
You're
Williams.
so gay, Topple.
It's Bird Cage.
Ridiculously
bro.
homosexual.
There's a lot of parts of that in my VHS that were wore down.
I like that movie, Birdcage.
I hated it.
That was so gay.
Of course it was gay. It's,
So
it's
gay.
made about all.
It was
It's all about gay people.
It was so
I thought
gay.
it was funny. I laughed.
Oh, better
Um,
yet, it's Halloween time. What's that one that the they dress up like women and you throw tomatoes at?
Are you
What-
talking about
Rocky Horror film?
yeah, Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Picture
Rocky
show?
Horror Picture Show. That's another creepy movie.
I
Mr.
didn't really
E is
care
a
for that.
connoisseur of movies. You can tell by his answer in the chat.
Who?
Mr. E.
Mr. E.
Debbie does that one. Okay.
I didn't
I'll
care
tell you-
for the Rocky Horror as much as
I never
Birdcage.
seen it, so
It's gay. Way ahead
Here's
of its
a movie
time.
that when you mentioned it, it reminded me of a movie I love. It was
Something
called
gay?
Phantasm.
Yeah.
Phantasm.
I know the title. Is it gay?
No. It was a
That was the
horror
one-
movie.
Was that the one with the ball that had the little saws sticking out of it?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, that was that.
I don't even remember that.
The creepy ball with the pokey thing on it.
Yep.
Yeah, it would levitate around and then come and cut your ass up, dude. Just slicey slice.
Yeah. Yep. I remember
never
that
saw
being
it.
scary when I was a kid too, and now I'd probably watch that and be like, "What the fuck were they thinking?"
Yeah, it was goofy, but at the time, in the moment, it was a great idea.
What do you think about the interrogation bot from Star Wars when it like comes in for Princess Leia, like it's got like the juicy needle sticking out of it, like the black ball that floats over to her, and it's gonna inject her with like truth serum. And like in real life, you could just like bitch slap it out of this air, like it wouldn't even be able to do much about it.
I don't remember.
I like
the
almost any movie by the Coen brothers.
Who are the Coen brothers?
They must have made Phantasm.
Joel and Ethan Coen, I think, are their names.
Well, what are the movies that they made?
Oh,
Fargo?
they made Fargo.
Fargo.
uh,
Ugh.
What's the one with John Goodman and
Fargo was a musical, right?
Well, the Great Lebowski or whatever.
the Big
Oh, the Great
Lebowski?
Lebowski.
The
Okay.
Big Lebowski
Yeah, that one.
with the dude.
Raising Arizona was an older one of theirs.
Oh my God, I forgot
Dude.
about that movie. Is that where they kidnapped the kid?
Yes.
Yeah,
And then
Uh,
Nicolas
Woody-
Cage and Holly
Is
Hunter.
that Woody? Was that Woody Harrison in that one?
No, it was
Nope,
Nicolas
it
Cage.
was Nick Cage and Holly Hunter.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's a great movie. That baby is freaking adorable. So
Not no
good.
baby no more.
yeah, she's
he's
like 80.
he's like, what year was that? The baby's probably like going on.
Probably
30.
older than me and you.
Not older than me. No.
No, I mean RW.
I love that movie. Very funny.
I don't think I've watched that one.
I remember watching
love-
that.
Casablanca. I love that movie.
That
Too
was
old.
that a black and white originally?
Yeah, I think so.
Was that
No,
the same
Bogart.
era as it's the war movie? What the hell is it called? South Pacific? think South Pacific.
I don't know.
Well, but Casablanca is Bogey and McCall, right?
It's Bogey and not McCall. Ingrid Bergman.
Is that the "Frankly, I don't give a damn" quote movie?
No, that's you're thinking of Scarlett.
Johansson.
Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind. Yeah. Miss Scarlett, right?
Yeah, South Pacific is a musical. I can't get down with musicals. My wife loves them, and she likes Johnny Depp, so she's all about like Sweeney Todd, and I couldn't get into any of it.
Well, apparently the new Joker movie is a musical.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't the Joker a girl now, though?
No,
No, it's
thought-
he's gay.
no.
I
The
love
Joker
Burn After
is.
Reading.
I thought it was Lady
Joker is-
Gaga.
No, the Joker's the same guy that it was before.
Okay, River Phoenix.
Not River Phoenix. He's been
No.
dead for years.
Not him then. Don't have me on your team for movie trivia night. It's not going to go well. Me and Last Dance will be on the same team.
Yeah. Lady Gaga plays the other crazy person he meets in the insane asylum. I can't remember her name, but it's a famous name. When you hear it, you'll be like, yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. Thanks, wife.
Joaquin, and apparently Lady Gaga plays Harley Quinn this time. Which
Harley Quinn. That's the name. Exactly.
And it's not going to be no Robbie Margot. She was the perfect one, I think.
Yeah, like when I heard that name, I was like, Harley Quinn. Jeez, that's like a name I had known in the past, but I kind of forgotten, and I forgot that it was even a character.
Harley Quinn
from
romance.
Batman. Yeah, totally. Ars Burgers as Fudge. Hi there, Ars Burgers as Fudge. What a great name.
Yeah, it's totally fits with the movies we've been talking about.
A transbender? I don't know Ars Burgers as Fudge, but a legitimate question. And welcome. Thank you for being here, bud.
Is that a Futurama reference to the robot on the main shipping crew?
Bender?
Yeah, Bender the robot. See, you know that, Last Dance. How come you don't know that? He's like,
Return
"What's
of
my
the Living
model? I
Dead.
know all about Bender."
1985. Cup of Tea says, yeah, a solid movie. More
That was with,
brains, I believe.
With the boomstick, right?
Return of the Living Dead.
Or no, that was Darkness, Army of Darkness. All these good brain cells that we've all put lots of worthwhile information in. I'm glad we're getting a chance to show our knowledge and wisdom now. What did you guys think of Jurassic
Or
Park
something.
original versus all where they went with it?
The
of what?
original to where they went with it now?
Yeah, I feel like it's a different thing.
Mm-mm. I only saw the first one, so
Okay,
I remember seeing that at a movie theater. That was crazy back then.
man, that must have been loud.
The local movie theater just installed vibrating chairs.
Nice.
And I remember the first scene where
An
the
adult theater.
no, the floors weren't that sticky yet.
Oh, yikes!
I'm trying to think.
Could you imagine being that guy that had to clean the floors in even a regular movie theater, like just popcorn and soda and
It was a
candy?
kid. It was a kid that had to do it. That was like a teenager job.
Yeah, but how many teenagers do you know that are sticklers for like perfection?
You said stickler.
Sticker.
Stickler to the floor.
That's some strong whiskey, my man.
It's gross.
So I just went back to the list that me and my wife made. My number one, and I still agree, movie is Tombstone.
Well done.
Number
Really?
two is going to be a little weird. A lot of people are going to disagree, but I love Forrest Gump.
Okay.
Wow.
It was
And then-
it was fun. A lot
That's
of
like
fun.
Patton.
I agree with that.
Forrest Gump was the shit. The soundtrack was amazing too.
I'll give you that.
It was great
And
soundtrack.
it was almost 3 hours long. And frankly, when I watched it, the first time, second time, I couldn't take my eyes off of it. It was engrossing. You know, it pulled you in.
Mm-hmm. And I don't have a number 3 because I couldn't. It's just too hard. I think I would have said Friday, but that's more for
Wow.
memories of a kid being with friends and being a stupid teenager watching it, though.
Right. Like if you were to show
Like-
it to someone now, you'd be like, oh yeah, sorry about that.
No, the first Friday, I watched it with my son. He laughed his ass off.
Yeah, for
And
me,
then-
that movie would be Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Oh, okay.
That would be my Friday.
I couldn't stand Jim Carrey, so
Yeah, that's the whole point. For me, the one I can't stand is the guy that does Brothers, the tall
Will
guy. that does
Ferrell.
Elf.
Will
Yeah,
Ferrell. I can't stand him
when
either.
I saw him do that skit with a young girl, and the young girl was cursing and being feral as shit, and that was like okay, I completely backed away. Like, I do not like this man.
Oh,
Kids are a bastion. You don't bring them into the adult comedy world.
when the landlord thing.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Okay.
I wish I could see that. I hadn't seen that. I generally like Will Ferrell.
I only like
on
Elf.
YouTube. It's easy to get.
I only liked Elf from Will Ferrell.
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff on Saturday Night Live that I was cool with, but yeah, once I see certain people do certain things, it ruins them for it. It's just like it's a meta thing. Like I can't enjoy them in a movie anymore. Like even Will Smith, I loved him as an actor. I loved him, and then he bitch slapped Chris Rock or whatever his name is on the stage.
That's his wife's fault. She brainwashed him, and that's all him.
No, he made that.
Yeah, I
decision.
agree with you on him. Though.
She brainwashed him.
I honestly,
You'll
I
never
didn't have
think of him the same way.
I didn't have much of an opinion of him on it before, but I would like in the past. I liked the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, Mindless TV,
Bad Boys.
Men in Black.
Yeah.
Men in Black,
Awesome.
yeah.
I didn't like either of those movies, but
You didn't
I
like
didn't
Men in
have
Black?
no,
Great.
but I didn't have a problem with him. But
Oh.
after he bitch slapped Chris, I was like, fuck this
No.
guy. That's it. I'm not ever going to watch a movie of his again. You know, like,
Really?
come at me, bro. Come at me. I'll take the bitch slap.
There's-
I'll actually
there's
fucking
never-
hit him back.
He eat his
There's never-
hand.
There's never one person I ever did that with. The only one I didn't. Who's the one that used to sleep or married his stepdaughter?
Woody Allen.
Woody Allen. I never watched any because I was told never to watch any of his movies.
It's just creepy.
That's creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't remember that, any of that stuff.
I could never view him the same way again.
Woody Allen is the guy that's like on the Hunger Games, right? Or no,
No.
is he the producer?
He had nothing to do with the
Woody
Hunger
Harreld.
Games.
I think I'm thinking of Woody Harreld. The
Woody
blonde
Allen
guy,
is
Hamish from-
1980s, early 90s, right?
Yeah, he's
No, different guy.
New
yeah.
York, different guy entirely.
Now, there's not one star that I stop. Like, I agree with RW with Will Ferrell. Not on why I just don't think he's funny. I don't like that brand of like. I was never really into Saturday Night Live comedians making movies. Like Adam Sandler, I can't stand.
Blues Brothers.
Chris Farley. Now he died, but I loved his movies.
Yep, I
Yeah,
agree
Tommy
with that.
Boy. They were funny. They were.
Yeah.
Are they slapstick? I don't think they're exactly slapstick.
Well,
I don't know. I liked Anchorman. I wouldn't call it a great movie, but I thought
Oh,
there's
Anchorman.
movies that I think are just fun to watch.
But Adam Sandler, I like his serious roles that he played, not this Saturday Night Live shit. So
Like instead of Happy Gilmore, you like 50 First Dates.
50
no,
First Dates, and I was expecting shit when I saw that movie, and I thought, this is a goddamn good movie. I like this movie.
I cursed
What's-
God's name when I watched it. Also, no, the
Everyone
one that he
should.
did about the guy that sold jewelry or gold, that was a couple years ago. That was a weird movie.
I
That
never
was a
saw
weird
that one.
movie. With Adam Sandler, I recommend watching it, but at the same time, you're going to hate me. So it's a weird
What?
movie.
Okay, I'm
You
not sure
recommend it, but you'll hate you.
I'm,
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not
there's
sure
no
that's a
way around it.
recommendation. RW.
There's no way around it.
And what was the one he did with Drew Barrymore? I really like that one
That was
too.
50
50
First
First
Dates.
Dates.
Oh, was it? Oh, I just love her too.
Where is she gone?
Who cares? She's beautiful still. I know she got bigger, but she's lovely.
We all got bigger.
Wedding Singer? No way.
No,
Adam
Wedding Singer
Sandler's
sucked.
best movie was probably Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Waterboy was pretty there too. I like.
Nah, Happy Gilmore. I love golf.
Mr.
No,
Deeds was pretty good.
Happy Gilmore
like
was a
it.
lot of fun too.
Happy Gilmore is my choice. Bob Barker, you know.
But
Bob
Billy
Barker.
Madison, though. When the guy was helping him learn his math, and you think it's going to be like the really hot teacher, but it's the guy that passed away. The one we were just talking about that did Tommy Boy.
David Spade.
No, not David Spade. The guy that always did with him that died.
Chris Farley.
Chris Farley. Yeah.
Oh,
Billy
oh.
Madison. He was great in Billy Madison. He was the
Huh.
bus driver that like ate all the kids.
Oh yeah, that's right. I
Yeah,
forgot
do
about
remember
that.
him. Yeah, he didn't look well. He looked unwell
Who? Chris Farley?
in that movie. But
Oh.
it was. I'm sure it was intentional. But
He was made to look
Facial hair.
sleazy. They're like,
Yeah.
do all the coke you possibly can all the time for this acting job, and he's like, all right, no problem.
Drew
he
Barrymore
didn't look
too?
I was going to do it anyways.
Drew Barrymore
Yeah, but-
wasn't in that. Oh,
He did 7 movies with Drew Barrymore, apparently.
I love Drew Barrymore. I'll watch every movie she does. She's
Yeah.
on. Do you guys? I know you don't, RW, but like, there's that 5 list. If you ever meet a star you could sleep with your wife. You ever had that?
I'll go
Of
make
course
that right
not.
now. What am I supposed to do?
So you get 5. You have a list of 5 celebrities. If you could ever get with, you won't get in trouble for.
nobody has that. That
Yes.
doesn't exist.
I have that.
Oh, come on.
Never heard
And
of it.
Drew Barrymore's actually on my list, and everyone gives me a weird look. I'm like, as a kid, I just loved her when I was a kid.
Hey, more power to you. And if you ever cross paths with her, I feel bad. I mean, and I wish you all the best.
Well, I mean, if my betrothed had a list like that, I would, creep through the night with the K-bar and silence and take care of those people that are on the
But
list.
that list was also
You're-
made in 2003, so
You're not playing the game.
I think
Steve.
Britney Spears was on that list too.
Oh, she's still on that list. Yeah.
No, she's psychotic.
Wait,
She's
that's
nuts,
a
bro.
factor in all this?
Well, yeah, she's
She'll-
going
she'll
through
stab
it.
your ass.
I didn't know mental stability was a part of the equation.
She'll stab your ass.
That's the idea, right? Maybe I'm into that shit.
Hey, different strokes, different folks.
That's right. Duke's a big fan of Mila Jovovich. I think one of my favorite movies is Fifth Element, and
I never saw.
I like Resident Evil, but if anyone's watched the Resident Evil movies all the way through, it's a terrible storyline. It's absolute garbage for the movies, and it ends in such a bullshit way. It's a little frustrating.
Never seen any of those movies. The Fifth Element.
That was
No.
a great movie, dude.
Is that when she was an alien or something and wore that just a top that has nothing really?
Damn straight she did.
Okay, I know the cover of that movie, but
That was one of the first DVDs that ever came out was Fifth Element, and they had
Okay.
this feature where you could turn off all the swearing, and instead of an R-rated movie, it became PG-13, and that was a
Oh.
feature built in the DVD. I thought that was so cool. And then they
That's wow.
trashed it, and then never saw another one like that.
well, I remember when DVD players came out. You can see all the edits and all the behind the scenes.
Yeah, man. Had to do something with all that extra media that was wasted on the disc.
I had a Tombstone DVD. Didn't have all that extra shit because it's before its time. So
Tombstone is for movies that have quotes after them. Tombstone probably has one of the highest quote rates of any movie I can think of. A lot of movies have famous lines like Gone with the Wind has, frankly, blah, 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 I don't give a damn. That's like super famous, but that's it. Whereas Tombstone has like, all right, Lunger, let's do it. You know, there's tons of stuff.
Why, Johnny Ringo? You look like you just walked over a grave. Or something.
Somebody just walked over your grave.
Say when. Say when.
I'm sorry, Johnny. I forgot you were there.
I got 2 guns, one for each of you.
I recommend it.
I think everybody saw. If Last Dance saw Tombstone, I guess everyone did because
That's got to be it. That's got to be how it works.
I saw it recently.
What?
In theater.
Like a year ago or so.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I love Val Kilmer. I thought he was amazing.
Val
I
Kilmer.
Did I say Val?
You said L.
Yeah, you said that.
Like the Kilmer.
Oh no,
I
meant
misheard
Val.
it maybe.
That's
El
my
Kilmer.
fault. That's my fault.
La Coyote.
Who's
Last
the?
Dance, I sent you a DM on Twitter.
Oh,
Okay.
Uh-oh.
whip it out, big boy.
We can see it in the reflection on the window if we try hard enough.
Yeah,
You need a magnifying glass, but you will see
Not
it.
me, buddy. I got those $1 billion man eyeballs.
Whoa.
But
up to you.
who's
You see it.
the?
okay.
Yes?
Actually, I don't.
Okay.
They're deciding which of us to kick off the island topple.
No, we're deciding. We're deciding if either of us wants to maintain this thing, and neither of us does.
All right,
Okay.
that's cool.
Anybody else coming on? Where y'all at?
No, we're boring. Sorry.
That's
Yeah.
enough out of we the people.
Well, no, we can keep it going.
I don't know. McGrande came on late last week.
It's
So
not
did,
that you're boring. It's that I only have a certain amount of energy, and it's not always the same every week.
Oh,
Are you back on normal food this week, Dance?
Yes, I am.
Good to hear.
That's good. My
I mean,
test
is there-
went well.
Well is a very tactical word. I'm glad that it went well.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys have any. I mean, if we're talking about movies is too boring for you guys, that's cool. It's cool.
No, it's not the
question
movie
for
thing.
them.
It's just that it's not the
It's not-
subject matter.
it's not vibing. We're just not vibing.
Oh, like I ever vibe. That's not
Us old guys are getting tie-tie. I didn't sleep late.
Tie-tie.
exactly.
I mean, that's all. It's nothing to do with you guys. It's not
Oh,
you. It's me.
It's a me problem, not a
I've
you
been through
problem.
this conversation before.
So
where this
many
is going.
times.
Did you guys? I mean, I don't know if you've seen it, the train cars that are getting looted in Chicago. Did you guys see that video?
No,
I did.
No.
I did.
I mean,
I think
That's
that's been
train
going on
cars?
for years, though.
I thought it was just.
that's been going
semi.
on for years. Okay, never mind. Just Chicago, everybody. Just robbing the trains. It's all nothing new.
Yeah,
here.
no, absolutely. I mean, they're easy prey. Basically, they're just sitting there. There's nobody guarding them.
But by the time
That
that they
seems
empty
dumb.
one train car, the cops could be sitting there picking people up. Like,
Oh,
You know how
there's no
bad Chicago
police in
cops are.
Chicago.
It would be logical that they could just put a few officers nearby and arrest everybody, but for some reason, it's not happening.
It'd be racist if they did that.
No,
Ah.
it's bullshit that they don't.
it's effort. So, has anyone here ever heard of TD Bank?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay, have you
Yes.
heard of it only because of it being pleading guilty recently?
No,
No.
of course not.
No,
My wife
TD
worked there.
Bank, TD Bank has pled guilty and been hit with a record $3 billion fine for enabling drug cartel money laundering. Bank employees accepted bribes and overlooked blatant criminal activity by customers from Colombia and other regions.
wow. It's a Canadian bank.
I've never heard of TD Bank.
Toronto Dominion is what
Yeah.
TD stands for.
They're right now
Yeah.
totally damned. That's probably
Well, what they had a case, they had an individual in their corporate office some years ago who would jump against the glass on the interior of their
That was
high-rise.
TD Bank.
Yeah. And he fucking jumped against the glass one too many times and popped the panel out and flew down like 13 stories to his death.
No
he thought it
kidding.
was the funniest thing to do in the office in front of all their, whatever secretaries and new visitors and stuff. And then finally, he fucking popped the adhesive because
What
there
if
were
it was
no.
a hit? What if someone weakened the
Well, there was no
Torch
bolts.
around the gaskets.
yeah.
On a lot of these new buildings, there are no bolts.
No.
When you look at the glass from the outside, it's a smooth glass exterior. So that's what this was. And then it's only held in by adhesive. So many bumps against it. And eventually it popped out. He fucking
Well,
100 feet.
conspiracy
that's a-
time. Conspiracy time. The Las Vegas shooter was able to pop that window out too.
By running
It's
into
not
it with
hard
his
to
body?
do if you know what you're doing.
I don't know, man. That's a Darwin Award right there. I can't feel for that dude.
Well, you ever see
no.
99 Dumb Ways to Die? It's I forget. I think it was on Spike TV or something. That was one of the first ones they showed.
Yeah, that's what I knew it from.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And of course, I researched it after. But yeah. And
Some more information.
it's not that hard to do on your own if you have the right flat saws to just cut the adhesive away and pop the
You
glass.
just need a torch. You just need your basic torch.
That's
But
what
even
I
on top of that,
black tar stuff, yeah.
the fucking Las Vegas shooter could have just shot the glass out. I mean,
No.
after all, he did shoot down like over 1,000 rounds.
The whole panel was missing now.
I mean, that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, it does.
Well, and in
To
the end of
me.
the day, what does it matter? Because he shot people with a machine
It
gun.
was an inside job. It wasn't a machine gun. It was a bump stock.
Bump stock.
Oh, sorry.
How
a lot of bullets.
dare you?
Yeah, fucking details, schmetails. Like,
You're going to start calling everything an assault rifle now?
yeah, no, I'm just gonna call
Yeah.
it revolvers. Everything's a revolver.
Revolvers.
To piss people off. High caliber revolver.
Yeah,
7
that was-
shots.
That was the bump stock.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
in
he was
jail,
the
right?
son
Or
of a
dead, or
bitch.
what happened
He's
to him?
dead. He was shot. He was dead.
He killed
Yeah,
killed
himself.
thank goodness. It was
No.
best.
The government agent that was sitting next to him shot him.
Oh my god!
After he fed him all the ammunition.
Oh
he shot.
man!
He was the son of
loading
a
with extra
bitch.
cartridges. Yeah,
He,
gotcha.
he killed Americans for fun. I mean,
Well, we don't know why he did what he did, though.
I'm not trying to make
I'm-
light of his action. I'm just an asshole. That's not.
I
what do
think
you
his
need to find a
girlfriend-
reason from a maniacal killer to kill people?
They usually all have reasons when they do it, though.
Does that matter?
Yes. I want to know why.
I think it matters.
I wanna know why.
I do too.
I want to know why.
Well, but I mean, that doesn't discount from the fact of the act.
Well,
No,
I
it's
never,
a
sometimes.
character thing, if anything.
Depends.
I would
Depends.
never say it justified it, but I am curious.
Innocence, no. Innocent people, no. But if we're going to talk about Killdozer, which no one died other than him, it makes me want to think.
That sounds
we're
like
talking
a
about-
video game boss.
We're talking about the Las Vegas massacre where tons of innocent people were killed.
Well,
Obviously, in that particular, I don't know, what are your quotation fingers for?
that's the conspiracy. No one was actually killed. The video, you could see dead bodies with people still breathing. I'm going off the conspiracy. I
You know,
I don't
that's
believe
not
that.
true.
I don't believe that.
You know it's not true.
But I do question a couple things that there was no answers for. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I think
Was there any high value targets that died in
Just
that
asking
shooting?
questions.
Of course, it fucking happened. People are mourning the loved ones to this day.
well, it wasn't like Sandy Hook.
Oh, you're about to
It
get
was
out.
bigger than Sandy Hook.
It was
Times
actually
2.5. 22 to like over 50, bro.
it's not. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but there was a lot of things that it kind of died in the media. There was no reason why he did it. It opens
It
up
was-
conspiracies.
That doesn't make
It
any
was
sense.
unsatisfying. I agree.
Well-
That's what Smokesteve. Every time there's a mass shooting, most of the times you usually details come out why, unless they, for some reason, maybe he had no reason. They had no clue why he did. Maybe
He had a
that's
reason. The problem is he didn't leave a note. He apparently didn't tell anybody that he was upset about anything. And his girlfriend denies that she knew that he had any reason, was planning it, or even thinking about such a thing, which I don't believe, but
yeah, of
who's to
course.
say otherwise?
That's
Well,
all.
but-
It comes
well,
to.
all of those things notwithstanding, it was a horrendous mass murder carried out
Oh,
by a
yeah.
psychopathic madman that to make decisions about his motivation or anything like that after the fact is insanity.
Not well.
Oh, I want to know.
It's not insanity. Is you want to know what made him tick? What triggered him to do such a thing?
All right. Oh no, I'm with you on that. But you
Yeah,
guys,
I'm not
both
trying to
aren't-
point fingers at somebody. I'm just saying,
You're not
Well-
questioning that he did it.
no, that's the conspiracy stuff going on.
Last dance.
I'm not. I have no doubt that he did it. I just want to know why. What was he thinking? What was he feeling?
What was the motivation?
Even I
Speaking
don't
of
even need to know the
Sandy Hook-
motivation. What were things that he was upset about? And what was, and then I don't mind guessing that his motivation was one of those things.
You guys mentioned Sandy Hook, and I'm curious if I mean Alex Jones is a piece of garbage.
He's a piece of shit.
I'm curious if what is being done to him through the law is legal. Like when it comes
I
to
don't. Did he appeal it? Did he appeal it? He had to appeal it, right?
I think he appealed. I'm not
in the end of the
sure
day,
whether-
everything is being taken away from him, and I'm just curious if that goes against freedom of speech, because you don't have to tell the truth in freedom of speech, right? That's not how it works.
Yeah, but freedom of
No.
speech doesn't cover libel and slander.
right.
Well,
I
it
have
does-
concerns.
how do you
It would
measure
be-
that amount of money, though, from what he did? That's what it comes down to. What I think
Well,
he did
who are
was
you going to
horrible.
defend? The people who lost a child to a mass shooter,
I'm gonna
or
defend
this
the law.
dickhead who's
What's
trying
the-
to make money off of them?
I will
and
stand on the
sell some
legal procedure.
vitamins.
What's
I mean,
the
he's
legal?
not worthy of it.
It's true.
You're not judge, jury, and what? How's it go?
Executioner.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, did you just see that that fraud case is is looking like they're going to throw that case out?
yes,
For
I did.
his campaign.
Fraud. The fraud
The
one.
New York
yeah.
case. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
always.
But
it was always
do-
iffy.
Do you think the prosecutor, the judge, they should face sanctions, knowing
Not
that
the
this was all
judge.
politically?
Not the judge, the prosecutor. Yeah,
Why not the judge?
If they were
I
in
don't
bed
think
together.
Judges, they don't necessarily, get to, just make their own decisions. They have to follow the law, and if a prosecutor wants to pursue a case, then the judge is not going to stop them unless there's
But in that
overriding reason
situation, the
not to.
judge openly stated his bias, correct? Isn't that a problem?
No, I don't-
But what
it would if that were
law-
true, but I don't think that happened.
What law were they going off of to hit him with that? Because there was no evidence of fraud.
They had a theory of fraud that was garbage, but
Yeah,
the judge thought it was good enough.
I don't know. It was all a political hit with that one.
Well,
I don't know much about the
we learned
case
the
though,
carpet.
but I'm just reading what I'm reading now. So I don't know what else was done.
What made
so-
them decide to no longer move forward with that case?
Well, it's still in motion. It's still in the
What do you
appeals
mean move
process.
forward? He got convicted. It was a criminal case.
Then why are they going to abandon it if he's already?
It's in appeals now.
This is an appeal, I think. Yeah.
It's in a circuit court now.
Like the next court above it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not hearing much of any information at all. So where was your source on that?
It's not on the news that much unless you go to Fox News. But there's a lot of like Twitter feed about it and all that. CBS did do something. They did report on it.
As
There's
of
little
today
things.
or something?
It happened Thursday, but
Okay.
but Friday Fox covered it, and I think CBS covered it this morning.
Now, the fact that it looks like it's going to be thrown out and the prosecutor should be the one gone after, is that the reason why it's so quiet?
It's no, because they want it's all political driven. They don't want, oh, Trump's gonna that one case they're dropping.
When he was convicted, it was all about it everywhere. Trump convicted. Trump convicted.
Because it's the media, and that's why the media
I'm
really
saying.
sucks. It's
I'm
bias. Same thing goes as Fox, but Fox is going to report it obviously because they're a Republican Trump supporter.
Perhaps.
CNN's going to report about it in a small little section below everything, but they're still reporting on it. It's just not going to be their headline.
All right. I think my time here is up for the pub. I have one question. I would like you all to be star seeds and tell me about the future. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think anything interesting or not interesting? Do you think anything epic is going to happen before November 5th?
Do you mean like an October swing, an October surprise?
I mean like a world event or an event within the United States of America that's going to cause problems.
To shut
Yes.
election down? To shut an election down?
No,
can't
not
say
not
shut it
that
down.
level. I see something happening. Yes.
I don't think they're going to be able to shut the election down. I am curious how they're going to get the vote out for North Carolina and Tennessee for all the people affected there. But I don't see them delaying or messing with the vote. I'm just curious if something on the political scale or the religious scale or something like that is going to pop off before the election date that causes a problem.
Yes, I see it. I see it. It's possible.
It's possible, but
Hey, did any of you guys see the Northern Lights?
I did.
Which is supposedly visible in Philadelphia. It was
My daughter texted me, and I walked outside. I was like, "Holy shit!" She wasn't lying.
What did it look like? Was
It was
like,
all red. It was all red. The sky was red with the outlets of green.
That's
You
cool.
see it
Outlined
with
in
your
green.
own eyes, not with
Yeah.
just a phone.
No, yeah, I saw it with my own eyes. My daughter texted me, and I just got home, and I ran out back, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" My son took
I didn't-
video of it and put it on TikTok or whatever the fuck he does. So
Cool.
Are
Well,
we going
I
to
have-
rename that to something else instead of Northern Lights? Just like the lights, or
right. It's not so northern anymore.
not? Yeah, the centralized lights.
Last Dance.
Yep.
I've heard some scuttlebutt about some things involving the Orange Man's plane and possibly that missiles have come into the country. Have you heard anything about this?
I
That's a
have
pretty
not.
bold statement. Is this a Twitter thing?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that.
Well, this
I
is
mean,
the
I have
new
heard
thing
claims.
missiles coming in or going out?
coming in that are possibly undetected, and he's the target. I don't know.
What? He's
Well,
the
it
target?
would have to be Iran that did it,
Yeah.
and I don't think they want that trouble.
Why would it have to be Iran?
Nobody else would have the
Capability?
capability to smuggle in a missile good enough to hit the Trump plane and
Couldn't like
pose a
6
threat.
immigrants just bring them in backpacks through
Oh.
the border wall, or
Well,
Wait,
where
wait,
are they
wait,
going
wait.
to get an anti-aircraft missile? Where
Timu?
No, this is the
Very
big thing.
expensive.
The rumblings. This is going to be the thing that they're. This is from people who think there's a coordinated effort to remove him.
Oh, I thought you meant he was bringing missiles in from.
No.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's always going to
Yeah,
be
I
I'm
was-
trying to do with dancing around the real words
I
here
understand.
without
taking
saying-
someone out.
without saying specifically who I'm talking about. But
I'm sure that the people that said this just made it up, basically.
Yep.
entirely possible.
What? Why?
Are you- What did you guys think of Elon Musk's and Trump's display in Butler, PA at that rally?
What a joke.
What a
exactly.
Weird fucking thing.
Elon Musk is a weird dude, man.
Yes.
Like, he's dorky, man.
Oh yeah.
He's what is he, like 6'10", and just like he's like jumping around like a I don't know, he looked like a big dude because
Oh.
isn't Trump a big guy?
6'7", I think. Trump's 6'7".
And doesn't
6'7".
Yeah, I
That's
think he's
huge.
6'7".
He ain't no 6'7".
Oh, let me look it up.
well
Yeah,
Elon looks like he's
6'3".
roughly the same size, if not bigger. So that, or we're all being lied to. Maybe they're like 5'6", and it's a Napoleon thing.
These guys.
Oh, you're right, Steve. I always thought he was 6'7". He's 6. Maybe I'm thinking of his son. He's 6'3".
I know.
Big enough.
Wow, Barack Obama was 6'1.5".
Yeah, but you think he's
The
basketball? Huh?
the union of Trump and Elon, though, is I think what's pushing a lot of people together.
What do you mean? It could push a lot of people away too, though.
I mean,
There's
yes,
always positives and negatives. So
that's a powerful.
Elon-
That's combining technology and politics very strongly.
but we didn't like that back then because what did Twitter do? They censored everything.
Now they have
Yeah.
a different flavor of censoring. Now you can say whatever you want, so they can record it. But speaking of that, I just want to give you one more piece of news. SpaceX and T-Mobile have received emergency approval from the FCC to enable Starlink satellites with direct-to-cell capability, providing coverage in areas affected by the hurricane.
I heard
So-
about this.
So that's a great thing, right? Like the police officers that are over in the hurricane area right now are only able to communicate through
Walkies.
Starlink in their cars.
Oh yeah.
But my question is, what is the back door of this legislation that's going to be like the next Patriot Act or something? There's some vibe to it that I don't understand. Why would they?
What do you
Why
mean
wouldn't
back-
it be okay in the first place? Why did they have to allow it?
Yeah, that's true. But in all honesty, the Patriot Act wasn't all bad.
It wasn't all bad.
But a lot of people
Pretty
don't
bad,
like it
yeah.
for some reason.
Well, I understand
could-
why. I
could-
got pulled over a couple times for the Patriot Act because I was within 200 miles of an international border. They talked to me for 15 seconds and let me go.
What?
Well, how many people were driving down that walkway at the time? Was it just you?
Tons.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a walkway. It
You
was
know
a
what?
highway.
Okay, that's the main point.
When you look at you, I would think you're like a little bit of terrorist in a way. I don't blame the
Totally.
officer.
Irish,
No, I
Profile?
was cool.
Mafia.
I was friendly. I said, "How you doing, officer? What do you need from me? I can help you in any way that you need me to legally help you." And he just was like, "Yeah, you're good. You're good. Go ahead." You know, I had at the time cannabis in the car and stuff like that, and there was
Is
no
that is that illegal there?
at the time. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
think he was worried about that. So
no, he wasn't.
he came up and he brought a card out that had colors on it, shades of colors, and he checked you and you were fine.
Well, he didn't have any colors or anything like that. He
You ever
just,
see Family Guy?
Yes, the card.
The card. You're good. You're good.
Right.
Have
It
you
says
guys
something
ever-
like criminal, good guy. You know?
Have you guys ever had a police officer, ask to search your vehicle and you said, yeah, no problem, as soon as you get me a warrant?
No,
I've never been
I
in that
never would
scenario.
say, yeah, no problem.
No,
I mean,
I have
I do
never-
not consent in searches.
so yeah,
I have
I'm just
never
curious. Like,
done
I've
that.
never had that situation.
I had a lot of times. And usually when I said, well, all the times it happened, they're like, all right, you're free to go. I always got a ticket, though.
Yeah, they say we're going to search your vehicle, and you say no
My
thanks.
favorite is I smell marijuana come from your car. I'm like, I don't even, there's never been, well, since I own the car, it's never been weed in the car. I don't smoke.
Right. So when you literally say you may not search this vehicle without a warrant, they're like, okay, have a nice day.
No, I said I do not consent in searches, which the officer goes back to his, they usually threaten, we'll get a dog out here. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you do. They'll go back to their car, waste another 20 minutes and come back, give you the ticket for the violation for what you did, and tell you, have a good day. Be safe.
Have a nice day. Thank you. I feel much better now. My day will be fantastic.
But that was also my early 20s. I don't get pulled over anymore.
Really?
I'm a good citizen.
Good for you.
Well, I drive a work truck that has their logo on it, so yeah, I got to drive nice.
Right.
Don't need any social media shit coming on. I cut someone off or anything, so
Right. Hey, that's Topple. Ah.
which it happens.
What about them when they cut you off? Like, I've run into that with the work.
Can't even
vehicle.
give them a finger. It is what it is.
Damn. All right, I screwed up.
Well, is it a big company or is it a small company though?
Pretty big.
You gotta worry because everyone likes to take pictures.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're right. Like, I can't. It's funny, people are so dumb. You feel like you're obligated to respond with, "Are you fucking stupid or something?"
Oh. Well, Last Dance would know. I got Jersey right next to me, and their drivers are by far the fucking worst. Right, Last Dance? You deal with Jersey drivers a lot?
No, I don't. But I have
really?
driven
They're
through
just-
there. I don't find them to be the worst. I find
Assholes
here,
are the worst.
Maryland.
bro.
Maryland?
Maryland are pretty bad.
Really? Oh. Nah, well, like I go down south to do jobs, and it's just a whole different tempo of like the lights are longer. Everyone follows the speed limits. I'm not used to that. We're always 10 speed, or you're allowed up to 7 miles over the limit. You guys, do your locals have radars where you guys are?
No.
Only
No,
stadies.
we have the farm triangle, so you can just drive with that and they leave you alone. Seriously. No license, no problem.
We have Amish people like that, so
There you go. Amish. The hell?
Amish. Amish.
Was
You talk to them, they say Amish. They don't say Amish.
was
I'm wrong
Dutch
for years.
Sense here? Did Dutch Sense actually make an appearance? I would be amazed if he did.
Who?
No,
Dutch
we're
Sense.
talking about him on the sideline because of predictions being made for what's coming in the near future. I didn't get a direct answer. I thought he was saying that there's going to be earthquake coming soon based on what Dutchin said. But
Earthquake?
Oh, there's going to be an earthquake. Well, I predict there'll be an earthquake too because there's always earthquakes.
Did the government seed the earthquake?
There's a question.
Yeah.
I don't know what he means by geoengineering. I'm
Earthquake
not up on that.
They're going to get a lot of people just jumping up and down to make an earthquake.
Well, you do get small earthquakes from fracking. So
Where are you
Really?
guys at with fracking? I mean, PA is what it's all about fracking for your oil, right? Because it's all.
I don't know.
sludge.
I don't do research. I don't work in that field, so I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing. I'm not in the area where they frack, so it doesn't affect me.
They
If it's good for my
basically-
wallet, keep going.
They
Yeah.
sound like aphid lip all of a sudden.
yeah.
It's basically they're forcing steam and something into the ground, right? They force steam in the ground, and that
Yes.
cracks the layer and forces petroleum to
Yep.
the surface.
So
That's
what's the problem with fracking though? If you live in that area,
I would think it would contaminate the shit out of groundwater.
is that that's what they're saying?
Sometimes
I don't know
it
what they're
does.
saying.
Okay.
It's an issue when it happens.
Right. Everybody's going to be like Flint, Michigan all of a sudden.
Oh, well, my water, we get it from the store. We don't use the only thing we use our water for is washing clothes and showering. We have bad water
Okay.
from a navy place.
How much money are you putting out a week for water from the store then? That sounds expensive.
I get 2 cases of the 48 from Walmart, and that's like it's like $10.
Okay, that's not what I was. Yeah, if my wife drinks like a gallon of water a day, I don't think I could support her if I had to buy it from the store.
What?
Yeah,
It's not that bad. Or you get the 5-gallon jugs, which I used to do, but the things that hold the 5-gallon jugs, you can't clean them 100%.
you would just put a straw in it, probably like a big straw, and like drink on it from the nightstand. The 5-gallon bottle.
Does she just drink a gallon of water regardless?
Yeah, that's
That's her goal every day. Drink a
yeah,
gallon of
she
water.
literally has a big gallon thing that says like little motivational things on it. Like, are you leaving, Steve?
Well, should I keep this thing going?
Yeah, I mean, you can kill it, man. I want to keep you going if you're tired, man. I'm just
No,
gabbing.
you guys can keep it going if you want to keep it going. Last dance?
No, don't put him in that
I'm-
position.
Yeah, I'm a little tired. I'll be honest.
Guess what?
I'm
I gotta go give my daughter medicine. You guys have a great week.
You got to go buy water.
All right.
You guys have a great week. I'll talk to you guys next
All
week.
right. Take it
See you
easy.
later.
I'll back out
All right.
too. I appreciate the session, guys. You guys have a good one.
See you, buddy.
All right. And I will exit myself and you can shut her down.
All right, I will. And that ends Smokesteve's International Pub. You guys have all been great. Cup of Tea, Eastwind Farms, RW, English Bottle Cap, Wife. You've been phenomenal. As always, my love. And everybody else up here. Duke, loved seeing you, man. Biscuit Vapes. Cup of Tea. Duke Brazzi. What a legend. Come on, Mr. E. Anybody else I didn't mention? Arsburger as fudge. What up, dog? Thanks for being here, man. EB. You know what? You're all rock stars. Sorry I can't last as I get older. 10, 11. These are the late hours now. But I love you all. You're all fab. You're the best. Peace and love. Good night.